Podcast contains adult themes and language. It's not intended for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised. Now, here's your hosts, Kevin and Chris, with Todd, who has only one job.
It's time once again for another episode of Comin at Ya. Comin at Ya. A podcast about the world of mixed martial arts, boxing, pro wrestling, Comin at Ya, and heavy metal music, with a slice of comedy for good measure. Comin at Ya.
And we're back. Episode 222 of Coming At You Podcast. I am Christopher Scott, joined by my good friend Kevin Honeycutt. They can't hear you.
Hello.
Also, Toddy.
Hello, hello.
Also, we have in the studio today with us is friend of the show, Nick Grinnips.
How we doing?
The show is brought to us by Philly Comedy Club. Can you turn that music down just slightly, my friend? Because you can't hear it.
Doesn't sound too bad.
I can hear it over me speaking.
Oh, well.
And the whole show is about speaking. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. That's too low now. So the show is brought to us by Philly Comedy Club this Friday. They have Too High again. Kate Wolf from True TV featuring Karen Margolis and John Koppel. There's a show Friday night at 7 and 9 p.m. You can use the Coming At You podcast code CAYPOD to get discount tickets.
I know John. He's funny.
You do?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
there you go. It's Nick Grinnips certified.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Also, Saturday, they have shows now as well, which they didn't have in the past. Saturday, April 21st, 7:30 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. Same people, Kate Wolf with Karen Margolis and Michael Verdi. Actually, John Koppel's there on Friday. Michael Verdi, I guess, is his replacement on Saturday.
Nice.
Use the Coming At You podcast code CAYPOD. Also, the Atlantic City Comedy Club.
It's in Atlantic City.
At the Kiss Kiss Angel Comedy Club. There's shows on Saturday night at 7 and 9 p.m. as well. Use the comedy code CAYPOD to get your discount tickets. Show is also brought to us by Out of Pocket Network.
Yeah, they've got a variety of sports podcasts and special interests podcasts and things of that nature. And we're the MMA show.
And check us out. Coming At You podcast.
We're like the guy talk.
On outofpocketnetwork.com. Also brought to us by Resp Tattoo.
He's right next to the Keswick Theater and the Keswick Bicycle Shop in Keswick, Pennsylvania at Keswick Tattoo.
Finally, you did it. Great job. Also brought to us by Extreme Cage Combat.
That's right. We're the play-by-play announcers and the color commentators, respectively. I think I'm more of the play-by-play guy, and you're like the color guy. Yeah.
Isn't the play-by-play guy doing the the actual techniques?
No, that's the color guy who's adding expert analysis.
Then I would be that guy.
You're the color guy.
You're the guy without the expert analysis.
No, I'm the guy that basically has to, carry the load.
You're my Mike Goldberg.
I am the guy that has to keep everything running smooth. Kind of like this show. I have to basically carry you on my back.
That explains the extreme amount of pain you are in on a normal basis.
Exactly.
Show was also brought to us by dadsandcargoshorts.com.
Dave Barclay.
He is also our web designer for comingatyoupodcast.com. Also brought to us by, who am I missing, Todd?
I think you got them all. Well, you got Netflix.
Netflix. Anything going on Netflix?
Network. I started watching Lost in Space.
I started watching that as well. I made it.
They spent some money on that shit.
2 episodes in. Not bad.
No. Especially now it makes me wonder. I can't remember what the old one was about.
It was a space show. They were stuck in space, but I thought they were stuck near a black hole.
I think that was it. Yeah. I don't remember.
And they had that robot. The robot was just a dick.
But the doctor on this one is bad. I can't remember if the doctor on the original.
The doctor was definitely bad.
When was that?
It was like late 60s. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so we weren't even born.
That
yet.
was
we were watching reruns.
That was like right around the time of Star Trek.
It was pre-drug regulations because they had some fucked up shit that could only be inspired by hardcore drug use.
But definitely some weird shit on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yep.
well, I got you a gift, by the way, while I was out today.
Oh, what'd you get me?
It is. I was traveling. I was in Wilkes-Barre,
Yeah.
and I drove past an oddity store. Right?
Wow.
And I went in there, and
Is that a straight jacket?
is that the straight jacket? I actually saw that guy last week at the Trenton Punk Rock
kidding.
Festival. Yeah, talked to him for a second. The show's coming back on. But anyway, I was there, and I had all these skulls and stuff outside, and I got this thing for skulls, and I went in. Apparently all the shit's real in this place that I went into.
Fuck that.
So within 30 seconds, I knew I was outside of my price range on everything, except I did find one thing. I'm going to give it to you.
All right. What is it? Well,
I think you're going to like it.
Very excited.
These are
Oh, cool.
Guatemalan water dolls. And what you do when you have a worry,
Yeah.
right? You speak it to the doll,
Okay. And you
put it
drown
in the bag,
All right.
and then I don't know what you do with the bag after. You have to read the instructions. But during the course of the evening while you're sleeping, the worry doll will handle the situation.
Cured. Do they have about 400 of
You
these
can
little
only
dolls?
it's only limited to 6 a day.
Okay. I mean, overnight, the doll will solve your worries. I'm only allowed 6 worries per day. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, so you can, and I don't know if it works on anxiety, but if something else is bothering you, you throw it in the bag.
That's what I'm going to do.
You're welcome.
That's the
Thanks,
worst
man.
depression.
I said thanks.
Yeah, like no, thank you. No, are you gonna make a wish
I
now?
was going to throw all 6 in there. Thank you very much. I'm going to put that.
But I walked into the store and I'm like, shit, I am way out of my price range on stuff. Like they had human skulls in here.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that legal?
I think they're legal if they're over a certain number of years.
Fuck.
Like, do you want your skull sitting on a shelf somewhere?
No.
I do.
Yeah.
Why not?
Bullets.
What else is going to be?
Bullet's head is way bigger than yours. That's got to be a sturdy shelf.
That's true.
I mean,
That's
they would
true.
have to get probably more money for mine.
They sell them by the pound.
Yeah, this asshole's head must have been 33 pounds.
But I was up there and it was snowing today. It's middle of April, and I had just been up there last weekend for a trip with my brother. Right? We went there for he had a Groupon. You ever get a Groupon coupon and be like, man,
sure.
it's a fucking great deal, right?
What the fuck's a Groupon?
Do you know what you don't know what Groupon is?
Stop it.
You don't know what Groupon is.
No.
You're full of shit.
I honestly don't know
You're
what a
full of
Groupon
shit.
is. I've never done it. I don't know what it is. I'm not getting.
Groupon's an app, and let's say you own
I'm
a
not
store.
kidding.
Let's say you own a store, right? Or you're trying to sell some goods.
Okay.
Groupon, you're not talking.
All
to me,
right.
Mike, by the way.
Yeah. Okay.
Groupon puts a coupon on there and it's discounted. Like I used it a few months ago. I went to a Brazilian steakhouse down in Philly.
Okay. So all
It was
right.
$55 for all you can eat for 4 people
Why don't they just call it a coupon then?
because it's a group of people that it's available to. It's a Groupon. If
It used to when it first started. It used to be like Subway is going to have a Groupon, and there's 40 of them or something. You go on Groupon, and once they were done, that group, they were gone.
Do you have
now
to go
now
as
it's
a
more
group?
Of a,
no.
Oh, God.
Okay.
No,
Because
no,
I
no.
wouldn't be doing
No,
that.
you can buy your own thing on there.
Oh,
So-
okay. So I could go by myself to the Subway.
So Todd's got this idea. He's like, you know what? Let's go up to Camelback. We'll go in the indoor water park. I'm like, fantastic.
All right.
Like, how much? What's this going to set me back, Todd?
You know what? Hold on.
That's my
super,
story.
Super nice that his brother is thinking about his other brother.
Hold on. Yeah, you'll see how nice he is by the time. And secondly, I'm second choice for this thing.
Why? Who was first?
Your daughter's girlfriend who broke her arm was the first
Broke
choice.
her leg. Yes.
So I'm not even first choice. I'm second.
Why were you trying to get your daughter's girlfriend?
Can't even enjoy it.
I'm
It was my
second.
daughter's birthday.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense then.
I'm second choice on the Groupon.
No,
Right?
I would. Yeah, you were.
Yeah. I'm second choice on the Groupon. Right. So I'm like, what's this going to set me back? He's like, $156.
I never said it. My wife did.
Okay, $156. So he
Per person?
no. For it was like a room for 8 people, right?
not bad.
That's not bad at all, right? Great deal. As we get closer to it, he's like, checked on it. It's not really great. Not really the coupon they had. It's going to be about 400 something between the two of us, right?
Yeah, it was going up to 229 or something.
Yeah, it was going up to 229.
Hold on, but first we were getting a room that was for 6 people.
Right, and now he's only going with 3, and I'm bringing 5. So now I'm paying more. Right, we're splitting it. Right, am I right?
We split the room.
Yeah, we did
Down
split
the
the
middle.
room, so I
Down the
appreciate
middle.
that.
Okay.
So I also have to pay for an extra 2 tickets to get into the water park,
when
which
these
is
two
another
go at each other.
$75 because it only includes 2.
So we split it. The room starts off with 6 of the things to go into the water park. 3 and 3.
Needless to say,
So is it wrong that he's got 5 that he's going to have to buy 2 for himself?
I was invited, and I was second choice.
I was invited, and you also said, you know what? That sounds like a great idea because my kid's birthday's coming up.
Here we go.
Right. Which I thought you, being a great uncle, would donate towards one of them because one of them's your godchild.
But you didn't donate to Kylie's at all.
It wasn't her birthday last weekend.
Keep going.
So we get up there and whatever, it costs a couple $100 to start out the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then we go to have dinner, and it's an all-you-can-eat buffet, right?
Everybody had input.
Everybody had input, and it wound up costing like $120, something like that. So not a bad weekend now, but the Groupon thing was just definitely off. Todd did get yelled at for touching a black child, which this lady, I thought she was gonna slap Todd in his face across this little turnstile.
It would only hurt her hand.
So Todd's sitting there, and they got these like wristbands, right? And I had a great time. Don't get me wrong, I'm just busting your chops. So they have these wristbands, you got to swipe them to go through. And for whatever reason, anybody that was going through the turnstiles other than us had no idea how to use the fucking swiper, right? So the second morning we're going back in. You get to go to the park for like 2 days. And there's a black woman on one side of the thing, and it's a lot of like folks coming down from New York and stuff because it's up in the Poconos. And this lady's on the other side of the turnstile, and she's got a kid who's what, like 3?
If that.
So why did you grab a kid?
Oh, well, hold on. This kid's just swiping, right? And the guy behind the counter's like, you got to go to the other line. You got the wrong swiper. And he's telling the mom, and the mom's just like, whatever, and just waving the kid through. And finally, there's like 20 people deep, like trying to get in there. And Todd swipes his thing, and the kid starts to go through his swipe. And Todd puts his hand on his shoulder, and you hear, "Don't you touch my baby!"
Oh shit! Respucia was gonna
you don't
whip your
touch my
ass.
kid.
And I said, dude, he's not supposed to go through. And she's like, I don't care. I'm like, neither do I. So I still shoved him out of the way and went through the turnstile.
And what did she do?
Nothing.
She didn't
Nothing.
do anything. But
Look at me, I'm hard.
But she looked at her. She goes, "Don't you touch my baby!" And Todd stood his ground, which I was surprised. I thought he was going to crumble.
Yeah, so I used to love water parks when I was younger, but now I think they are.
I hate
just
them.
Disgusting.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know what though?
Disgusting
It's
place.
Basically just a pool of
That's what I
germs.
agree. I used to like when I was young, but I look back and now like.
so what's cool about these now, Nick, is that not only are they cool
Nothing.
for the kids, they had a swim up bar
Oh,
for
yeah, you could-
adults.
you could drink
So
the
this
whole
was
time,
this was a area of the water that was just for adults that had tables in the water.
But you guys are still peeing in the pool. You know?
No, we
Not
did not.
Or
not in
you
the
respect the pool.
not in the bar pool.
But the
'Cause that was a private pool. I hope nobody was peeing in that one. But we hung out in that one.
Anybody banging
Todd may have banged somebody. I don't know.
in the pool?
No,
No.
it's bright.
No. You can see
Bright
everything.
lights.
They got a hot tub. There's so much chlorine in the air.
And the kids are still right around there.
It's all
they just can't get in there.
It's all enclosed, like so. There's no air like flow. Like it's
Oh,
just
you smell that, so it just
just-
permeates the
I
air.
thought it was fun.
Oh,
But here's
fuck
the thing:
that.
if for all the kids listening, if you have sex in chlorine, you can't get an STD.
Oh, look at
Impossible.
Nick, and that's your Nick Grinup sex tip of the day.
For real?
You can,
I don't know.
you know what?
But don't.
Can
About
you
to
get,
say,
dude? You
I'm gonna
that's
fill up
awesome.
the kiddie pool. Fill up the kiddie pool at the apartment from now on.
Bullet's got a little baby pool in his house.
But the Friday night we went there, there was a fair amount of people. But Saturday morning, like you couldn't
Packed.
find a spot anywhere. So we did the water park, and they had like 6 or 7 water slides inside. They had a wave pool, a big hot tub. They had a lazy river. All pretty cool, like fun place to take a kid.
It would not be fun for me.
Then the next day we went on they had the alpine slides and the mountain roller coaster, and we went on the mountain roller coaster. So it's basically a roller coaster like you would have at an amusement park, but you're in control of the brakes. And he's videotaping it, right? He's all excited. He's videotaping. He's in the one in front of me, and I hear, "Cunt!" He just fucking screams it out.
Why?
You have to have like 80 feet between you and the person in front of you.
Yeah.
And the lady in front of him kept stopping.
Well, she didn't stop. So what would happen? What would happen is they've gotten smarter over the years. So when we used to go up there as a kid, they would.
Do you know what the alpine slide is? Like
No idea.
So imagine a water slide where it's just a U.
except
Yeah.
you're on.
But you're on like a roller, like
yeah,
a, like
and,
a,
and it
a
rocks
skateboard,
back and forth.
Yeah.
and you can go as fast as you want. They have 2 lanes.
When we were kids, Todd launched himself off of it.
So they have two lanes. One for people that are done it, and other lane for people who are new to it.
Yep.
Don't you know there's always a 10-year-old kid or something that gets, or a mom who gets into an experience line.
There was
and
a
it
lady
just
that gave him a hard time in
ruins
that
it.
line as well.
Ruins it. So these ones are a little smarter. They're a little. So once you get 80 feet, it starts beeping, and then it locks the brakes for you. So I'm going. I don't have.
He's hammering. He's leaning
I've
into
got
it. He's tucked in his seat, and he's just got his whole body curled up.
So I got my phone on my chest, and I'm just.
You're like
there's no break.
Maverick and Top Gun.
All of a sudden,
trying to break the sound barrier.
I hear the beeps, and all of a sudden it stops, and you can hear it on the fucking gun.
And it's also the lady that he's yelling about. We were in line, and right before he gets to hop on, she's standing in front of him. But it looks like she's saying goodbye to her son.
I'll see you down
I'll
here.
tell the story.
All right.
So it looks like she's getting ready to say goodbye to her son. She's like, I'll see you down here. And she just stands back. Right? And kid goes. He starts to hop into the next one, and she's like, whoa, 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 what are you doing? I want to be near my
Chris
child.
said, don't you touch my brother.
Don't you touch my brother.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, she goes, do you mind if I go next? I'm like, yeah, I thought you weren't going. I thought you were just waiting for him. She's like, no, that's my son. I'm like, yeah, go.
But a fun trip. And we were asking the kids, would you rather do this or would you rather do that?
What was it that?
The other one was the Alpine slide where it's completely
Yeah,
loose
yeah.
and you can go launching off the side.
But we were lucky enough that it wasn't open yet.
Rather just stay in my hotel room and day drinking.
Oh, there was also a moment where we took a family photo.
Oh, boy.
And we were
that
like,
must have
Todd,
been
get over
fun.
here. Todd, get over. And he comes running over with no shirt on. And my wife and sister-in-law are standing there in front of him, and he's just standing there like this for a second. And right when the guy's about to take a picture, he jams them both in front of him. So you can't see him without his shirt on in the picture.
Nice.
Just being smart.
It's fun, though. Memories.
Yeah.
Memories.
Yeah.
So it's all about. That is what life is about.
It is, really. Like I remember stuff. Like, did you ever go on trips when you were a kid?
How
With
about
the
out of the
family?
blue?
Yeah.
Like, because these things are out of the blue. We never did things like this
No.
growing up. It was the family vacation. There was no real weekend
My
getaways.
family was remarkably like the Griswolds when they would go on vacation.
Family truckster?
Just one mishap after the next, and just an adventure nonetheless. But my family is
What's your greatest trip that you remember your family going on? And then I want to hear Nick's.
probably Disney World when I was a kid or something. That
Drive
was
or
cool.
fly?
Flew.
We never flew as a kid.
Yeah, it was,
We were talking about the other night with my
wow.
dad. I'm like, I didn't fly until I was an adult.
Damn, that's horrifying.
Yeah. Let me get you a little closer to that, too.
the second time I flew on a plane. I was an adult, and I got hammered.
That's when you went to Vegas.
No. I was going to Florida again, actually. And I got hammered because I was flying alone. And
But-
I got there super early. My twin brother dropped me off. He's like, "Wow, the TSA lines, you're gonna be held up for over an hour and a half for the TSA lines."
You went right through, didn't you?
Went right through. Like 15 minutes. I was sitting at the gate.
How long ago was that?
Oh God, maybe 5 or 6 years ago.
Oh, shit. So,
And then
Yeah,
I
we went
just-
before 9/11 where you could do.
No. This
Just
is
about-
after 9/11.
Yeah, you
but
could-
then I
Roll
found
through.
I found a Chicky and Pete's and just kept pounding them.
But as far as when you were a kid, like what happened with the family trips? Like I remember, like us, we drove to Florida.
it was cool, you know.
whole
Drove to Florida.
whole family
Damn.
stuck in a
Station wagon.
rented station wagon.
Yeah.
And my dad would disconnect the odometer because they charge you by the mile. So the
That's
second,
smart.
I forgot he did that.
the second he
Yeah,
picked
he
it
would
up,
smart.
He would open it up, disconnect it, ride, and then come back with
we would
12
put
miles
like
or something.
3,000-4,000 miles on
That's
it.
awesome.
Come home and get charged for 100 miles.
That's amazing.
That's smart.
Yeah,
Smart.
You
Yeah.
can't do that shit anymore because it's all digital.
Yep.
But he used to do that, and then like one
good old
time,
days,
one
man.
time we went to the World's Trade Fair.
World's Fair.
And what's the World's Trade
World's
Fair?
Fair.
Is what
No,
it's
it's
called.
World's Fair.
Look it up. It's World's Trade Fair.
Sure. World's Fair.
It's the World's Trade Fair. He loses these every time. Look it up.
I don't need
No,
to.
no, no.
I
We'll
don't
sit
need
here
to.
and watch.
No, I think
No,
you're-
Genius is
I think
gonna look it up.
I think you're talking about where they show tile and wood.
Look
and
it up.
stuff.
Look
That's
it up.
the World's Trade Fair.
Look it up. Look it up.
Look it up.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah. Just type in World Trade Fair. That's what it's actually called. So we drive to Nashville. And and it's like just days of just being stuck in a car. We go to the shitty like Western themed mountain thing on the side in the Carolinas, and then we wind up going there, and he gets sick the day that we're supposed to go. So we don't even go. We just sit there and look at him vomiting all afternoon, and then we get in the car the next day and drive all the way back.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
All the way back.
All the way back, just
You didn't
straight back.
stop anywhere
No stop.
else?
No.
You're
My
in-
my
that's a
dad
lot of
was
states. You went
my
to
dad was one of those
Tennessee.
guys. Like if you had to pee, like you weren't peeing again until he decided you were peeing again.
Yeah, the strongest bladder decides, not the weakest.
Yeah, and it was one of those like yellow like K car station wagons, and it had the seats like where you face backwards, so you're just looking at the
I
people
remember that
behind you all the
shit.
time.
I remember that.
So he went through Tennessee,
God
West
damn it, I
Virginia,
remember that.
Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, then Pennsylvania. He didn't.
He may have stopped once or twice.
No,
but
I'm saying like.
Did you hit a Roy Rogers up
You
on
think
the
it
way
was like
home?
another fun place?
No, that was the end of the trip.
Wait, I know you probably stopped at like a rest house to go pee and then right back in the
Yeah,
car.
just all the way back home.
Oh man, that's rough.
Yeah, and I'm still angry at him for it. I'm correct.
No, you're not.
Yeah, yeah.
World's Fair, World Expo, Universal Exposition.
He didn't type in what he's supposed to type in.
What was I supposed to type in? Your definition? This is Wikipedia, my man.
I'm just gonna keep hitting that one.
We'll
What was
find
that?
it.
What was the longest flight you've ever been? I flew to California once.
Vegas was the longest, nonstop. It was pretty crazy.
California. That was the
Yeah.
worst. Horrible.
Oh no, I flew to
take that
California.
back.
California was long too. Yeah.
Well, why wouldn't it? It's past Vegas.
Well, it depends on the route there, World Fair.
Yeah,
Oh.
this guy's attacking everybody tonight.
Yeah,
Do you
what
feel
the
like that?
Fuck,
Except for Nick.
man. What the fuck's in that
You're a good man.
50? The fuck's in that 55 calorie beer? Like gunpowder?
He
The
showed
fuck?
up aggressive.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
I've never seen a dad wearing Crocs be so angry in my life.
No, I did a flight from DC to Cape Town, South
Cape
Africa.
Town, South Africa.
Yeah.
That's right. You
Holy
told us a
shit.
story once when you first were here. What were you doing in South Africa? Was it like
That was
Peace Corps or
that
something?
was Nick's first stand-up show.
Lived there for 3 years.
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Holy
Yeah,
shit!
I was
my
probably
family
drunk
did.
when
My
you told
family
that.
did. Yeah, yeah.
Holy shit! That's
Yeah,
wild.
from age.
Is that a direct flight?
6 to 9.
Is that like a straight shot?
Well, they usually
Normally,
stop in the ocean.
or you can go to like London and London to there. But I know we did a straight shot.
That's a
before.
rough town, man.
It was
Cape
like,
Town's a rough town.
Fuck that.
No,
It's
Cape
got-
Town.
It's
Cape
got
Town-
rough parts.
Well, I mean, it
So does
does
every
it does,
city,
but
No,
it's
Todd
like-
knows. Go ahead,
it's like
Todd.
the nicest part,
yeah.
nicest part in South Africa, but
Yeah,
that's
see?
still not.
But Todd knows. Todd, if you have any questions, Todd will be able to tell you
I'm
how
supporting-
your experience was.
I'm
Nick.
supporting
There
Nick.
you
When I flew to Charlotte like 2 weeks ago, and
So I love that nice and easy flight.
it was a nice and
city,
easy
though.
flight. And I was on one of those giant planes that had like 2 seats, 4 seats, and then 2 seats.
You were in
and
the
you had the
2-seater?
2 rows, and I was in 2 seat up against the window. And this black dude walks in. He's got Beats headphones on, and they're playing rap. And he's in his seat, and he's just going back and forth. And he's all fucking cool. Pants are hanging down. He looks at me, and goes, "What's up?" I'm like, "Hey, what's up, man?" Like that was it because he couldn't hear me. All badass until we hit our first patch of turbulence.
Oh, he probably. He probably was
Oh, dude.
gripping that fucking
He
armrest.
fucking locked up on the seat behind him, and he's like, and he's just fucking, he's dry heaving for a second, and he calms down, and we go for, and this is when we're taking off, like we had to drop.
Oh shit!
And you can see him, he looks out of the corner of his eye, and I'm like, "What's up?" And I just smile at him, and we fly, and as we're coming in, we're probably half hour out, and they give the alarm that you have to
buckle up and all
buckle
that
up
shit.
because there's turbulence, and we start hitting a ton of it, and this dude's like dry heaving in his mouth, and he's like,
Oh,
and there's
no.
a 14-year-old kid across the aisle, this tall white lanky kid with glasses, just loving it. And he's like just staring at him the whole time. And I'm like, "Dude, you okay?" He's like, and he's like, you can hear him. He's like,
That's horrible.
and then you see the kid that's across the row. He reaches in the little pouch in front, and pulls out the bag, and he snaps it open, and he hands it to him. And he's like, "Where'd you get that?" He's like, "In there." And the dude pulled out another one. So now he's got 2 bags in his hand.
Did he puke?
No, he didn't. He held it in.
for him.
Yeah, we landed, and
Good for
I said to
him.
him, I'm like, "Great job, man."
That's impressive.
He goes,
That's hard to do.
Yeah.
That's hard
What
to
did he
do.
say?
He said, "Thanks." I said, I didn't have anywhere to go. I'm stuck up against this wall here.
Yeah.
And you nailed it. You did a great job. I really appreciate it. So, would you rather be stuck in a plane with a guy that is ready to throw up, or stuck in a car with somebody who shit themselves, but you can't get out of the car?
How long do you have to be in the car for?
100 miles.
Oh, God.
But I can move around the plane.
No. You're
So
stuck.
you're locked in.
You're locked in, and the only way this guy can go is throw up in the aisle or throw up on you.
Ooh.
And,
Dry plane. Can I roll the windows down in the car?
Yeah, you can roll the windows down the car.
yeah, you can roll the windows down in the car. So,
Car.
is that what you're picking?
Wait,
Yeah.
one more question.
I'm
100
thinking that-
miles, no,
that's good.
no
That's
traffic,
good.
or
That's
100
good.
miles down 95?
This is 100 miles.
So 100 minutes.
You can go nose blind pretty fast, especially with the windows open.
Stick my head out.
I'm nose blind already. Like
you know what I mean?
I can't smell shit on a regular day.
Like literally shit?
No, I
Or
just can't
anything?
smell. Like even my flavor of my food, I don't smell it until I taste it. Yeah.
What the fuck's wrong with you?
I just told you I'm smell blind.
That's depressing.
What caused that?
I have no idea. You know how many times I've said, "Hey, would you rather?" in the last like 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you kept
and then you
jumping
have
the
a
topic.
stack of cards in your
Yeah.
hand.
You said, "Would you rather?" Let me tell you this: a long time that we were on this roller coaster. Tell the story.
I thought you were going to go into it.
Hey, Bullet, would you rather sponge bathe your grandparents for a year
Ooh.
or make out with an old person who has no teeth? Well, that's easy.
Make out with the old person,
for
yeah.
sure.
My grandparents are dead, so that's a really easy question.
Make out with an old person.
With no teeth, yeah.
Have you ever had a sponge bath? Somebody who's older?
I've never sponge bathed anyone. I don't want to start anytime
No,
soon.
I think we need to turn his mic a little bit. I think the rotation, like like something. I think we're not hitting the spot. Like, try that now.
Check.
That's
Does
a
that
little
sound better?
Well, Bullet wouldn't know.
No, Bullet doesn't have any headphones on. There's like a sweet spot on it. You know where it's at, Bullet, right? Sweet spot.
Yes, I do.
I know of people like I can't picture bathing my parents when they get older.
No.
Or
No.
now that they're older, but when they become unable to do it themselves.
I don't know.
I
No
think
chance,
I would
chance.
have a better ability of doing my father than my mother.
Yeah, because you know what? Because bathing your parents, you're facing your own mortality, and you're facing like an undeniable fact.
I wouldn't think of
life
that at all. I'd be going,
and everything
oh my
else.
God, this is so disgusting.
and that too. But like,
Yeah,
you
look
can
how
make
big Mom's bush
You
is.
can get drunk and make out with an old
Dad's got
person
a
with
hammer.
no teeth. Wow.
How old is the person you got to make out with?
Just says
102.
an old person. I don't think it would matter. That is something that,
I think I would make out for sure.
Oh, for sure, no doubt.
and that's
100%.
Yeah.
let's say you had to do it for
Let me
5
see
minutes.
What's going on here? Can you put the headphones on while he talks in that real quick? There's a sweet spot. We might just have to keep rotating it.
Check.
Keep going.
Check.
That's it right there.
Check.
Yes.
That's it.
Finally.
All
All right, we got it. Now we're back. And we're back.
But I could do that even if it was for 5 minutes. That's 5 minutes versus a whole year.
All right, here we go.
All right, do it, Bullet.
Would you rather have your teen diaries read aloud by Morgan Freeman or Samuel Jackson?
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman, hands down.
Hell no.
I'll go Sam Jackson
I'd go
all
Sam
day.
Jackson. all
Mine's
right,
gonna be
motherfuckers.
more sensitive, I think.
But
If I was a badass or something, I think I would want Sam.
I will watch anything where Morgan Freeman is the
narrator.
narrator. Also, James Earl Jones, or who's the other guy that does a lot of them too? Sir David Attenborough. All three of those guys.
Who is Sir David?
He does all the animal shows.
Okay.
I would watch that guy all day. But
Morgan Freeman.
have
Hands
you
down.
heard the Samuel L. Jackson kid stories?
Go to fuck to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you heard that?
I don't know. I might have.
They're like adult children's books.
Todd's over there looking the whole time, so I'm gonna let him rip one off here.
I'm trying to find a good one.
Should have had him prepared ahead of time.
All right, this is, live without a cell phone or live without toilet paper.
Oh, cell phone.
I think I would go without the cell phone.
I think I would find other shit to wipe my ass.
But I could just like jump in the shower and rinse my
That's a
ass
good point.
off.
Oh.
That's a good
Are
point.
you not allowed to wipe your ass at all?
That's
It doesn't say
whatever.
that. It just says
I'll just
no toilet paper.
Rinse it with fucking like a hot stream of water up my ass.
Have you ever had to use something besides toilet paper in a pinch?
Not that I can remember.
Have you?
Yeah, for sure.
What'd you use?
Paper towels,
Okay, yeah, paper towels did.
tissues.
Anything? Any clothing?
An old work shirt.
I remember
No.
one time I was at the Neshaminy Mall. We went to
You
Friendly's,
You nasty motherfucker.
and I went back there and I had to take a dump. Right, so I used the bathroom and I look around, nothing. Like no paper towels, no hand towels.
Is
no
this
nothing.
in the summer?
It is in the summer, and I got Aiden sitting in the seat with my dad, and they're
used his
both
shirt?
They're both facing me, right? So I'm facing, they're facing where I'm sitting. I walk to the bathroom. As I come out of the bathroom, they can see me walking in that direction. So while I'm in there, I'm in full panic mode. And there's a dude knocking on the door and shit. So I take a sock off, and I wipe my ass with it. That's
fair
right.
play. That's fair play.
And I walk out, and
You don't get penalized for
I
that.
thought it was gonna be like a towel or something.
No.
That's-
And I walk out, and my son Aiden immediately points out that I don't have a sock on.
Should have just used your underwear and gone free balling.
Socks are cheaper.
Yeah, but now you've got one sock.
That happens all the time.
I would have
though.
thrown out the other sock. I would have not gone out with.
I had the guy banging on the door, which just made me super uncomfortable.
Okay, so you had to make a decision.
So I make the game time decision, and I wipe my ass with my sock, and I go sit down and eat my food. Apparently, this guy must have had to take a shit too, because he came out. I haven't seen a dude look this angry in a long time, because he was in there like 10 minutes, and my seat faced the bathroom, so I was making eye contact with him. And this dude walks out, and I can see him just doing this. And we made eye contact. It's that knowing look where you just make eye contact, where you're like, "All right, I know what's up."
All right. Would you like to only eat gruel for the rest of your life?
The fuck is gruel?
I don't know, like mush.
It's just like a German mix of, it's just food thrown together.
Or have the same horrifying nightmare every time you sleep.
I could eat gruel. Nightmares don't bother me though.
Yeah, but it's horrifying. So every
But
time,
it's probably horrifying the first time.
So every
you
time
get
you
desensitized to it, I would think.
So every time you take a nap, every time you go to sleep, oof, that's tough.
I mean,
I gotta imagine it's horrifying enough.
wait a minute. How long do you got to eat that shit for? How long do you got to eat that
rest of
gruel?
your life?
Forever?
Rest of your life, or you can't sleep for pretty much the rest of your life.
You could take medicine to prevent you from dreaming.
That's not the point of it. I guess you could take medicine so that you don't taste the gruel either. Fucking.
Would you rather use your genitals as a credit card? And this is the reason why we look through the cards ahead of time.
I know. Has he done one yet?
No, he hasn't done.
Yes,
yeah.
I have actually.
Would you rather use your genitals as a credit card? So I mean, every time you buy something, you got to swipe them through something.
Okay.
Or would you rather pay off your debts in semen?
Oh, pay off my debts in semen. I mean, with the amount
How
of
are
time,
they extracting it though?
Well, it doesn't matter. The amount of times I masturbate on a weekly basis.
You're giving that away for free?
I'm giving it away for free. I might as well get some money for it, build some equity with it. You know?
I don't like the guy, but he has a point.
Wait a minute. What?
Yeah, but hold on. But think about this.
What's that mean you don't like me? That's fucked up.
So let's think about this. If you're paying your
I'm
debts
in
with
enough pain,
semen,
and you're gonna hurt me with that.
that
shit?
probably means you don't have anything left for anything to be enjoyable.
If you're paying with semen,
It's not
if you-
enjoyable
So
anymore.
if it's taking everything out of you,
Yeah.
Wait, time out.
you're not going to enjoy
is
sex.
it like
Todd.
you go to the grocery store and then they're like,
Yeah.
You gotta pay,
Like
all right, hold
he's
on.
buying.
It's not enjoyable anyway. Just ask any woman that's ever been with me.
So let's say Bullet's going to the supermarket and Nicky's going to buy some bread, right? It's either yank his pants out and swipe his testicles across the thing, or he stands there and jerks off on the counter to pay for his stuff.
Oh, wait a minute. I got to jerk off. I thought it was
you
just
don't
like a monthly
get to do it
thing.
in your room.
I thought like they send me a bill.
Well, it said pay for your bills.
Yeah, pay for my bills. So.
Yeah, you're out at a restaurant and you're paying for your bill.
No,
I didn't take it that way. I took it as
like your electric bill.
You're supposed to take a worst case scenario when you're doing it.
I think that is worst case scenario.
Worst case?
Worst.
Worth? Todd just went all Mike Tyson.
Sorry.
No,
No,
take him as worst case scenario. That's how it's supposed to work.
Would you rather have your dick become a werewolf or become a vampire but only need blood from people's dicks?
So it's got to bite another one?
Yeah, like you're a vampire, but you can only get the blood from people's cocks.
Oh, so it's
Or
either
you're-
the dick is a werewolf
Yeah.
or you're a vampire and that's how you extract your blood?
Definitely the werewolf. 100%.
I'm definitely a werewolf as well.
100%.
But you've been extracting blood for years without even having that vampire.
Well, that's
issue.
only if I get too excited to nibble on it a little bit. You know?
I think I would definitely go with the.
I wonder what
the werewolf.
I wonder what they mean by your dick's a werewolf.
Your dick turns into a werewolf and it rips off your body and is like, I'm werewolf dick man. That's what happens. Here we go. Here's a good one. Would you rather brag on Twitter about the deal you got on feminine hygiene products at Costco or post a photo on Instagram of your bulk purchase of condoms at Sand Club with no filter?
What was the first question?
Brag on Twitter about the deal you found on feminine hygiene products at Costco, or would you rather post a photo on Instagram of your bulk purchase of condoms at Sam's Club with no filter?
That would be a good penalty if you lost a bet. Like you had to pick one of those to do.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I think I would go with post a pic of my bulk purchase.
Well, we
of
know you
condoms.
would post a pic on Instagram, but without the filter, I don't know. That might be the breaking point for you.
But I can't change the color on these.
But
Photographer, ladies and
I
gentlemen.
think that if one's less embarrassing, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess because you're buying a whole bunch of dong bags, you're saying
Well,
like, hey, I
think-
fuck a lot.
All right, this question has to be for women.
No, it
right?
doesn't, because,
It
like,
says
if you're-
feminine.
Well, you got
feminine.
a fiance.
No,
Maybe
I would
she
agree.
sent you
I
out.
would agree with
Because,
him that
like,
it's,
a
that it's a
booger
girl.
yeah,
He
No.
wouldn't want to buy a ton of
No
condoms.
bullshit,
Exactly.
because she could have
No.
sent him out and said, "Yo, I need you to buy me tampons."
There's
No,
like-
but there's no reason why a guy
If
wouldn't.
I'm walking
If
down
you told me
the-
I had to take a picture of all the condoms I
Exactly.
bought, oh, that's horrible.
If I'm
Yeah.
walking down Costco with like 100 pack of condoms, everyone's like, "God damn, you know?"
Yeah, this guy's like Captain Dong Bags.
Yeah.
There's nothing embarrassing about that.
Sure, there is.
There's not.
For me, there is. I always have to, like, no, I don't.
All right, live without the internet for an entire year,
Oh.
or live with one arm tied behind your back for an entire year.
Goodbye, internet.
Oh, I'd say goodbye to the internet in a
You're
second.
so full of shit, dude. All the stuff you.
You're so full of shit, dude.
How would I
Yeah,
play
why is he
music with
full of
one hand
shit?
tied
Why is
behind
he
my
full
back?
of shit?
How would I go to work? How
Hold
would I
on.
fucking play music?
Hold on, let's Todd's going to explain. He's very aggressive tonight.
I'm
He's
waiting.
Gonna explain.
I'm waiting. Fucking stone cold Todd Perry.
Let's say you didn't need your arm for work.
I do. Music to hold my kid.
There's not a let's say. It's the question, Todd. Todd keeps clarifying the questions for everybody.
I already got one bad fucking foot.
Todd's
now
a-
I'm gonna have one arm.
Nick, Todd's a clarifying person. He just needs to clarify.
Goodbye, internet. No problem.
I'd be fine with no internet for a year.
That's not even a question. That's
You wouldn't be able to do
easy
this.
gone.
Why wouldn't I be able to do this?
What do you think this uses?
Electricity.
Yeah,
The internet.
I'm not putting it on the internet.
You
Bullets
wouldn't have to
put it
go
on
out without the internet. He's not going without the internet. We could just.
What would you do?
You just use me with my
Yeah.
one arm tied.
What would you do?
Todd, we're making that decision for you.
Since Todd's in IT, he would stay with the
Oh
internet.
yeah,
I
for a
would.
year.
I would.
Todd would
I
have
would.
one arm.
Oh, that's bullshit.
I'd
Oh no, you
left
don't.
arm. Left arm. I'm all right.
But he's happy to tell you how you're gonna feel about.
I know. Who are you?
Something. Who are you?
Who are you? Fucking this angry fuck.
And there's better questions than those last few that you've had.
Mine were real. Not,
Oh,
How
I
are
wa-
they
not
real?
not a girl's
Look, he's
perspective.
gonna
Not
be
a girl
excited.
perspective.
we
He's
go.
excited.
Unbelievable.
This one is very particular to you. Would you rather have to perform stand-up nude at your local comedy club, or perform interpretive dance covered in chocolate over an anthill?
Oh, wait.
Is this for Nick because he's a comedian?
What was the last one?
Perform an interpretive dance covered in chocolate over an anthill. You'd have ants going all over.
I would do
your
the
parts.
naked
Yeah, I
comedy in a
think-
second.
I think so.
Yeah.
So the anthills basically they're just going up. They're
Yeah,
fucking
they're
you up.
going up your parts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
For sure.
Have you ever been attacked by fire ants?
I have.
Not a good feeling.
Horrible.
Absolutely horrible.
My brother, one time, we were playing football outside, and he scored a touchdown.
Do you normally play inside?
I mean, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, man. And he scored a touchdown. We thought he was dancing and stuff, but it turned out that he was getting attacked by fire ants, and he had bites
Great
all
job.
over. Yeah,
I had a time where my wife looked out. I was mowing the lawn, and I was next to my shed, and I thought I was throwing rocks into the shed with the mower, and it turned out I went over a bee's nest. And my wife looks out the window, and I'm just standing at the air, just swinging, like not connecting with anything. And then I ran down the street as fast as I can.
This is a good one for Todd.
I got a good one.
Would
too.
you rather be in IT and angry?
Would you rather start every business meeting by exchanging butt sweat, or seal the deal by swapping semen?
How would you do it, Todd?
Maybe like a old fucking ejaculation on the hand, and you know what I mean?
I'm picturing the butt sweat where you're just
Yeah.
I got
like a stink palm?
yeah, just
Yeah.
like a palm
Handshake.
slap.
Yep.
Yeah,
I guess if we're both
Exactly.
doing the stink palm, I'll do that one.
I'd go stink palm as well.
I would too.
I got it's a fairly
I got one.
Okay.
Would you rather have your latest sexual activity highlighted on ESPN, or have a panel dissect your latest sexual activity on CNN?
ESPN top 10 plays.
Top 10 plays of the day.
100%, Yeah,
That's as long as you have a strong game.
I'll be like or hopefully not the not top 10 on Fridays.
So wait, it was be high have
Highlighted
I don't want a panel.
whatever
you
your
don't know me. Leave
whatever
me
your
alone.
most recent sexual activity was.
Okay.
It could be jerking off in your closet or whatever you do.
Yeah.
Highlighted on ESPN, like they got dude catching a super catch and spiking it.
Yes,
They got to do it a slap shot and then a picture of you in your closet, just like going nuts.
Yeah.
Would you rather do that,
With the belt around my throat.
or would you rather have a panel of people watching the video and picking it apart?
Oh no, I couldn't do that. I would just have to be highlighted. Just to have it be highlighted, and then I could just,
On the bottom line,
Yeah,
masturbated.
Full of
2 minutes- 2
masturbates in
minutes
closet.
and 56 seconds. Just the bottom line.
Highlights at 11.
yeah, just be like, he just finishes, like make a mean face and then cry.
I think I would go with the panel dissecting it.
Of course you would.
Yeah,
Of course you would.
just to hear what I'm doing wrong.
Or in your case,
But it would
right.
hurt. It would hurt your feelings. So they're like you.
Yeah, I think getting dissected for anything you're doing.
Right?
Yeah.
The word dissect.
Let alone something you've been doing like for what 30, 40 years of your life. Imagine they're like
Yeah.
you're literally doing it wrong. Like that.
I probably have been doing a lot of it wrong for a long
Yeah.
time.
So to kind of go back what we did earlier, would you rather drink a gallon of water from a public kiddie pool,
No
a
chance.
gallon of water, or lick
You can't
a
get to any STDs though, according to that.
or lick a pedestrian crossing button?
I would lick the button.
I'll like the
Me
button.
too. Like the
Yeah, I would lick the
Like
button in a second.
Hands down.
But you're kind of right though that the stuff's kind of getting killed.
There could be floaters in it. Like there could be all kinds of stuff in there.
Oh, I'm not a doctor, and I don't want anyone to take my advice. on anything I said. But I
Please,
think
no one confuse me for being a doctor.
the theory is so much
All those
chlorine. There's
chemicals.
just no way. There's no way. You can't have babies. You can't get STDs.
Which you know what you'd have to that would have to be right if you
I
think
agree.
about it.
Or the baby can be-
because if somebody went in the pool with one, wouldn't everybody get that when they came out of the pool?
That's why I don't go in them anymore. I just don't.
Now
go
I'm
in.
starting to get
That's
a little
cool.
skeeved out.
I was telling you, I don't go in.
How about this one? Would you rather have the physical abilities of a 25-year-old but always act like a 7-year-old? Or would you rather have the sharp mind of a 25-year-old but long balls like an 80-year-old?
Long balls, 100%. Nikki long balls. No doubt, 100%.
But that's gotta be weird when you let's say you're hooking up with somebody and you pull your pants off and your fucking balls are
No,
hanging down
dude,
to
you
your
just
feet.
cut dick holes out in your underoos. That's what you do at that point.
Why? Maybe you keep the
Nicky Longballs.
that might be his new nickname.
Why do they call you Nikki
Ladies and
Longballs?
gentlemen, welcome to Philly Comedy Club. Mickey Longballs.
Seriously, yeah. But,
Nicky Longballs Grin-Ups.
Because, all right, I'm 25 right now.
Right.
So I don't want to act like a 7-year-old. I would rather have long balls at this point in my
I'm
life.
41 and I act like a 7-year-old with a lot of things.
I think I would go with the 25-year-old with the 7-year-old mentality. If I could always just be like that.
I'm trying to think.
Right?
7 years old. What are you doing then?
I wasn't very sharp at 7.
No,
so.
no.
and yeah, like 7-year-old, like physical abilities, you have like the sexual abilities, you have all the other stuff, but not the comprehension part.
It's tough.
That's gotta
It's
be
tough
weird.
Life.
I'd rather have a sharp mind.
And long balls.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Long
Nicky
balls.
long balls.
Nicky long balls.
I think as long as you told everybody that you have long balls, that's your thing.
Yeah.
I think you'll get
Oh,
by.
hey, by the way, before we start doing this,
Why do they call you long balls?
balls are long.
My balls look like a fruit roll-up.
Exactly.
Like you get like your pants come down and you just grab and you're like just throw them over
Yeah.
your shoulder.
Like, how
like,
long? And you're like,
let me show you.
yep.
Would you
I got all
rather?
I got all the toys in Christmas in these. Just throw them over.
Is this a good question or is this a safe one?
It's fairly safe.
Yeah, ask some better ones.
Would you rather have two really big thumbs or have no butt cheeks?
Oh, two big thumbs.
Two big thumbs for
100%,
sure. How are you
yeah.
gonna sit?
Megan Fox had toe thumbs. Remember her?
Yeah, her fingers are
Yeah, I remember
jacked.
her.
She got weird fucking toe thumbs, and I would still give her the
cares?
4 worst pumps of her
What do you
life.
think?
But you
God
could-
was
you could-
like, I'm
you
gonna
could-
make you exactly perfect. No, you get toe thumbs.
You could put something
Humble.
in to
Bitch
make
can
it
wear
look like you
gloves.
have a butt,
She's gonna jerk me off. She can wear gloves.
Oh man.
but everybody's gonna see these.
Exactly.
Not if you're wearing gloves.
Well, you wouldn't have any gloves to fit, probably.
Yo, you have any advice for me?
Why, you got big
For-
thumbs, big balls?
I just got engaged.
Oh
Whoa,
yeah, I
nice.
saw that.
Sorry, I didn't mean to swing the whole thing.
Oh no, I saw it
You're
on the
gonna
ground.
Ask this
Need some
guy
advice.
for
Would
advice.
Would Nick rather be engaged?
Are you looking for advice for that magical moment when you first make love to her, Nick?
Yeah, I know. I have like 9.
When are you getting married?
April 6th next year.
Oh, so we got time to
Here we
practice.
go,
Done.
Nick.
I know.
Would you rather have financial security for your whole entire life, or never sleep with anybody else again?
Dude, you know what?
I think I would go with financial security and masturbate.
I agree.
Right?
Would you rather eat a meal with someone who does it nude and Instagrams every bite? Or would you rather have sex with someone who Instagrams every bite of you?
I think I go with every bite of me.
Of course you would. Of course you would.
How about this one? Would you rather discover you have a sexual kryptonite, something that stops you from having sex, or discover you are sexual kryptonite for all your friends?
I already know that I'm sexual kryptonite for all my friends, so...
Wait, what do you mean by that? Like, if you're around,
Yeah, I guess you're cock blocking them like without even realizing
like,
you're doing it. Yeah,
mix around.
yeah. And actually,
All the-
yesterday
yeah.
for Delaney's birthday, like my kids' birthdays are today, and one of the kids in jiu-jitsu has a crush on her, so he gave her a gift yesterday, and Declan was like totally just breaking it up, and she goes, "Your son's cock blocking my son."
Damn.
I said,
Wow.
"Yeah, that's his job."
Damn.
She was joking, but I'm like, "Yeah, that's his job. That's what he's here for.
That's true.
He's the kryptonite."
Damn. Probably. I don't know. Probably the.
Have you ever had any friends that are cock blockers?
I mean, I guess, but I have a good group of friends. We don't do that to
There's
each other.
always one guy in
Then you
every
guys
crowd.
aren't
I
good
agree.
friends. Then you guys aren't really good friends.
No, we don't.
Because every group of guys is like, if Chris was hitting on a girl and we're all in the room, and the girl's talking to Chris, I'll be like, he had herpes. Like, that's what guys do. They
I've
cock
never
block.
done that.
No, I don't think I've ever.
Oh,
had
you guys,
anybody
you've
do
never
that.
done that shit? Shut up.
I
I-
like my
I have
friends. I like
never
my
done
friends.
that.
That's why you do it, because
No,
you
I've
like
had.
them.
I think I've had people that maybe weren't as good at hooking up with people as other people, and
I
they
agree.
kind of just ruined
Talking
it.
about
like,
you.
Like, what do you? Come on, dude, let's go. Like, dude, I
Yeah,
got,
I've
I
had
got a girl,
that,
dude.
But
I'm
never a friend that says, "Oh, he's got herpes."
You never did that shit? Just to be an
no.
asshole? All right, well, you know.
That is a total asshole thing.
I agree.
Guilty.
I'd be pissed. Like, no,
Do you-
he's fucking lying.
Yeah,
Guilty.
Let me show you.
Wow.
Look, I've had all my sex in kid pools.
Yeah, right.
Like, there's no STDs,
Have you
nothing.
Have you heard about this thing called a chlorine? Have you heard about this?
Nick douses himself in it before every sexual encounter.
Puts a full body condom on and fills it with chlorine.
Yeah.
Oh.
Did you just have one? You looked like you had one a second ago in your hand.
What, a condom?
No, a card. You looked
Yes,
like you,
I did.
You looked like you were ready to go.
I am ready to go.
You're going to ask another exciting one. Todd's going to ask something else about thumbs, which could be a little bit more exciting. Don't you think, Nick? He could step his
you
game
know,
up a little bit.
Would you rather always have your urination sound like a loud slide whistle,
What's it supposed to sound like? What's it supposed to sound like?
or have your orgasm sound like a car backfiring?
Car bag, 100%.
I guess there's more opportunity for awkward situations with the whistle when you're peeing in public.
And then you're like, I know.
But-
Leave me alone. I know.
Nikki,
Listen, I get it. I
it's
know
my
it was.
long balls.
Nicky Longballs with the whistling dick. I think I would go with the whistling dick, because if you're having that sexual encounter and you get that backfire, like you're
Yeah.
probably not getting another shot,
Yeah,
right?
I would go with that. You can always run the water and cover up the fucking the loud slide whistle.
or much like big balls, everybody will laugh. They're like, dude, you got to see my buddy piss. Hold on.
Go ahead,
It's a
piss.
party
Go
trick
piss.
then.
Go piss.
So you'd either be Nikki Long balls
like what?
or
But-
Nikki Whistle Dick.
But imagine if girls were like, I've heard about Chris. Like, whenever he has sex, when he finishes.
It sounds like a car backfire. It's like
You're gonna know you really got him off.
like he's about to get married, and as we all know, Nick's a saint and has not made love to her, right? As far as we know. Like, but there's no, we're just kidding. But there's people out there that get married, like, and don't have sex until they get married.
Dummies.
And if you hook up, imagine if you had been engaged to somebody, and then the night comes where you're about to reveal like everything to them, and you have the
Your long
backfire,
balls.
and you got the long balls, and you got the whistling dick, and you got the backfiring
Yeah, right.
explosion
Yeah,
at the
the
end.
car backfire comes in. Like, just if you think that's weird, just
Like
wait
back
till
in the
wait till
day,
I pee.
like there had to be a lot of times back in the day where somebody was just like, "I'm done with this person."
Yeah,
Oh,
but
100%.
divorce wasn't.
I'm talking like 40s and 50s, like where
Literally.
like it was.
divorce was not a thing.
Either I
though.
suck it
Yeah.
up for 40 to 50 years, and that was their mindset. I suck it up for 40, 50 years, or I get fucked for eternity. I go to hell because I get a divorce.
Yeah,
You know? So
but there's
now it's
probably
like,
some guy that made some weird faces or weird sounds and was
100%,
like
100%,
fucking got
that's what
left
I'm
on the
saying.
first
At the
night.
end, she was like, "What the fuck did I do?" So what do I do? Do I spend 50 years or do I do eternity?
And there's got to be some chick out there that hooked up with a guy that had like, or got married to a guy with like a micro dick, and then like he
100%.
didn't reveal it until the day they were married, and
Always.
she's just like,
Oh
shit.
no, yeah, that's not good.
That's just a lifetime of letdown.
Sucks.
Yeah, I go with the whistle and pee for
I'll do
sure.
the whistling pee.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go
And
with
I
the-
pee everywhere I go.
I am gonna go with whistle dick. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that the? Yeah. No. Yeah.
Hey, you don't like mine.
Todd's been after all the safe ones.
Yeah, so every time,
I think we're done with this game.
Yeah,
every
I
time,
think so as
every
well.
time my girlfriend would call her friends,
What's her name, by the way?
Casey, or
Okay.
I guess fiance, I should say now.
Casey.
But that's what's fucked up too. Is if I don't get a ring, if I don't,
I didn't get a
if I
ring.
don't get a ring, and then I get in trouble when I call her girlfriend instead of fiance. She gets like all these cheers and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Does she refer to you as fiance?
No, she does. No, I do it most of the time, but like, even like she called her friends and all her friends like screaming, like going nuts, and then I tell my friends,
And they're like, "Oh,
they're like,
sorry.
"Dude, you're fucked, man. You're
Sorry,
fucked."
Nick.
And they like Casey. She's great, but it's like
it's a
how
lot.
guys are.
It's
Why do you
huge.
think, why do you think that is with guys?
Let me ask you this: are you the first one out of your group?
I'm probably like the first of my hometown friends, but like second or third of like my college buddies.
Because most women still keep their friends even though they're married. Guys lose a lot of their friends once they get married because no one wants to have the married guy around. That's what happens.
Or they don't want to have the non-married guy.
I don't
around.
know. I
Or
disagree.
the opposite happens. All your friends are married and you're the one who's not, and then you get ostracized because you're happy.
I think that happens when you have kids too.
Sure does. Sure does.
But
We'll see.
I think what you see from guys that have been married a while, when you say, "Hey, I'm going to get married," like there's just zero excitement. To like, oh, great
Like,
job,
you-
Nick. Like, sorry,
You
but you don't want
stupid ass.
to. You don't want to talk the person out of it, right?
No.
Like if you could go back in time, would you get married again? That's a no. It already took him too long to answer.
No. I mean, I like having kids. I like. No, I guess no. I would get married. I would get married again. Yes.
Now he's just taking the safe answer because he knows he's going to get in
we
trouble.
don't even have to ask Chris this one because we already know the answer.
No,
to that.
and I think if you asked her, she would say no.
Yeah.
Like it just would be like, I don't know. Just leave stuff the way it is, you know. And when you get buddies that say, "Hey, I'm going to get married," it's like, okay. But the ladies are so excited.
And they get to party and dress up.
And how did you do it? I saw it. It was
I did that at the art museum.
right. You did it in front of like a statue at the top of the steps, right?
Not like us that like
Not the Rocky
not
one.
for no. I wish though. Dude,
Right.
it's so wild how people idolize him and Joe Frazier is from Philly. You know?
Oh yeah.
It's so wild.
So you take her to the art museum.
So we. Every
What's
now-
your game plan? Do you check in with the dad and get permission?
Of course.
How'd that go?
I'm a gentleman. Fantastic. He's a good guy.
How did you
I'm
approach
lucky
it though?
I was like, "You want to grab a beer?" And then as soon as we got there,
He knew what's up.
Well, I told him, he was like, we don't really hang out much, so I figured you're going to ask me this. I was like, yeah, that's fair. But no, it went well. But the art museum, every now and then we
Did
go.
he threaten you?
No, he's a good guy.
See, I'll kick you right in your long balls if you fucking.
I heard your nickname.
Then he peed at him next to at the bar.
How funny would that have been? So, Nicky Longballs, huh? I'd ask what my daughter sees in you, but we all know about your whistling dick in this town.
And you're backfiring semen.
We've heard it. We've heard it.
So did you pay for the drinks when you took him out for the drinks?
No, he paid.
Oh,
He's a good guy.
All right.
Classy.
So at the time of asking him for permission, did you already have the ring?
Yes. But I didn't know when I was going to do it. But then I looked at my calendar and I'm like, I'm all booked up every weekend. Every weekend's
I
booked.
just
this
can't
summer.
do it.
I can't do it. So I was like, all right, well, I have to do it.
Was it a day trip?
No.
Did she see it coming or no?
I think she knew eventually, but not that much.
You guys live together?
Yeah, we lived together for a year and a half.
And you had the ring in the apartment?
No, I mean only for like a week. Only for like.
Where'd you hide it?
weekish.
And you wrecked him?
No.
Did Todd just go to the bathroom?
He did.
He's
Weak.
a pussy.
Oh,
Weak.
Yeah.
That's coming from me too. That's a week.
So you had it in the apartment for about a week,
Yeah.
right? And you say to her, okay,
Art museum.
Let's go to
We've
the art
gone,
museum?
There's like they have like happy hour, live music. It's a good
they
time.
have happy hours at art museum?
Like every Friday or something like that. So we've done it before, so that's why I think she didn't expect it.
It wasn't on the radar like, oh, this is an unusual thing that's about to happen.
Exactly.
So
There was a crowd of people there.
A little bit, and
Were
that's
they,
what I
were,
didn't
they
like.
were they crying?
were her
They,
friends
they
there?
clapped.
Were-
Slow
Slow clap. There was one guy who's just like,
Yep.
There'll be that one guy. Don't
Yep.
do it.
Right.
that's
Don't
me,
do
That's
it!
me over in the corner. So were her friends there?
No.
So
I
it's
bet
just
you
you and her at a happy hour.
Me and her at art museum. Then I had one of my boys who's a photographer, kind of sneaking.
Now,
around
what we
there.
really want to know is this, and if we're out of line, it was Chris's idea. How hard did she put it on you late that night? extra hard.
Was there a lot of backfiring, Nick?
It's that forever. You know, it's that forever backfire. You know what I mean?
Oh
Yeah,
man,
for
she
sure.
put it on you extra hard.
Sure, dude.
So were you
Probably
nervous?
looking at the ring while she was doing it, like.
Were you nervous when you asked her?
No, I was nervous about the weather because that would have been fucked if it was
You
raining.
wanted
I
to
was
be
like, that's
right,
bullshit.
'cause
Yeah.
it's gonna be something that you
I knew she was going
might
to say yes. If
potentially
she
tell your
said
fucking
no,
grandkids.
that would have been so disappointing. But
Oh shit!
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
But like that's like a tiny thought in your mind, but then you're like, damn, if that does happen, you're like, that always happens. Like
Yeah,
people on YouTube, and you're
he
like,
hired Aaron Neville in the background,
and you're like, how wouldn't you, right? And you're like, how wouldn't you know if she's gonna say no? And then you're like, oh fuck, maybe I don't know. It's fucked up.
You see those videos where guys do it at like sporting events and stuff.
Exactly.
Like I saw one last year where
No chance.
guy it was like halftime during an NBA game,
And she said no.
comes out and it's
Yeah.
like, oh shit.
Yeah, the whole crowd just had a collective. Ooh.
Yeah, it's rough.
How did you ask your wife to marry you?
You were there.
I was.
Yes.
How did
You're
it
at the
go?
Poconos. You threw the ring down
Oh
from the
yeah.
balcony.
Oh yeah. All right, I was part of that. I
Yeah.
remember now.
So New Year's
He
Eve up in the
proposed to his
Poconos,
wife
we
by
had
getting into a fist fight with her.
we had probably what 50 people,
Probably more than that.
and there was a balcony, and they were going like some of the best things that happened in whatever what year was
No,
that?
people
90?
were dancing, if I remember correctly.
No, they were doing announcements. The best things that happened
I don't remember.
during 1995,
No, nice.
and
Damn, were you guys
At the end.
Were you guys scared of Y2K when that shit was going?
Todd was.
Wow.
He's in IT.
You're such a.
I
cunt.
actually hold on.
You're such a cunt.
You
That
say
was
that?
Great.
I spent Y2K in Kansas City, prepared to get something up and running out in Kansas City if things went down in Philadelphia.
Smart.
There was a real, genuine panic.
There was. So
Yeah, there was a
So
real,
then,
genuine panic. It was crazy.
when they were done, they said, "Oh no, I think there's one more thing." And Chris was up on the balcony, threw me down the ring, and I got down on one knee and I
Damn,
asked her. to
you
marry
caught
me.
it.
I did
Good for you.
with my.
That's a
penis,
lot of pressure.
with my
And
penis.
then he dropped to his knee. And,
'Cause it was-
and everyone laughed at him.
Loser.
How'd you ask your wife?
I forget.
You
Oh,
do
stop
not.
it. No,
you are
you're
full
such
of
a liar.
Shit.
I forget.
You're,
You do not
you're so full of
forget.
shit.
There's no way you
There's
forgot.
no way
That's
you
the story
forget.
I'm sticking with.
Okay, so
The
I just
story-
opened up my heart.
Did she ever get a ring from you?
Yeah.
All right. It wasn't just like, hey, you want to marry me?
oh yo, so does she own the ring now? Or do I still own the ring?
She owns the ring.
That's
Yeah.
fucked up.
Now, if you
Yeah.
technically
Yeah.
get if it's
a contract.
mutual,
It's a contract.
if it's mutual, you should get the ring back. If it doesn't go, but if you all of a sudden cheat on her and she says she's going to keep it,
You better tell a whole lot more yucks to get that fucking money back.
Interesting.
I'm telling you. Yeah, that's hers now, dude.
I ain't right.
how did you do it, Chris?
I think I did. I did it in my living room.
Oh shit!
Actually, Mackenzie gave her the ring
All right.
and said, "Hey, will you marry us?"
Oh,
Huh?
that's
you
not
weren't,
bad.
You weren't
That's not
expecting
bad.
that, right?
That's not bad. That's not bad. So
And
pull
it's
it.
been hell since.
I know.
So
right?
pull it. Come on, tell us.
You know how you did it.
No,
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
How long ago was it?
What'd you do?
it's a story I'm sticking.
How long
with.
ago was it? Mine was
10
23
years
years ago.
And he remembers.
Okay, well, congratulations. I don't remember. That's the story I'm sticking
This
with.
dude's so full of shit.
I agree.
Yeah,
Did you watch
come
the
on.
fight? Did you watch the fights last weekend?
I did. I thought Wilson won 2 rounds out of to 1.
I thought
It was definitely
same as
close.
well.
It was definitely close.
Yeah, I think he won rounds 2 and 3.
I thought Poirier looked good.
He's
Poirier looked
yeah.
really good, man.
He's just tough, man. He's accurate when he throws.
Yeah.
You know, he's
I'm
tough.
telling you, Gaethje, he's a flash in the pan.
Well, I was listening to a couple other shows this week, and they were talking about him. He's like that party dude that's fun to hang out with, and
Yeah,
just
Yeah.
can take a beating. It's not going to last long.
dude, he's a high level wrestler that didn't attempt a single takedown.
It's
Now,
wild.
is that also that's his second loss in a row?
Yeah,
And
a
what
row.
happened? What happened to his
Eddie
the
Alvarez
first-
with the knee.
Did he knocked him out too,
Yeah,
right?
after a war too.
Yeah. So I'm wondering how
I
many,
know,
but
how
both
many times
he
can you
didn't
do
get
that?
dropped.
no, I know.
Both times he didn't get
just
dropped. He
wobbled.
was KO'd on his
He
feet.
needs to like just take the rest of the year off, and then
And he needs to take the rest of the year off and start to fucking
Yeah.
start double legging people.
yeah, I don't think he's ever gonna do it though. That's the sad part.
Well,
But
he'll be lost in parking
he's an
lots.
All-American. He's a really good wrestler, and it's just crazy to see that. But he's so fun to watch. Like every fight I'm gonna watch him. You know.
Yeah, I remember. his
I
family.
love watching those kind of
That's
guys
what
like
it
Matt
is.
Brown, Cerrone, Robbie Lawler. Like,
Because
dudes that are going to bang.
he was close of almost rocking Poirier for a little while. Then that eye poke happened. It was like a close fight.
Which was
even,
crazy.
Even Eddie Alvarez was a pretty back and forth fight with those leg kicks. He was dropping with leg kicks.
he
so
was-
it's
he
like
was hitting Poirier
It's like
good.
he's like could be 3-0.
Do you think Poirier poked him in the eye on purpose at the end of the
I don't
round?
know. It's tough to say that.
But Gaethje's looked pretty freaking obvious.
Oh yeah, I think
but
it was
a
just eye for
defensive
an eye,
move.
Yeah, that's true.
It was a defensive move. It's just you can't ever stop.
Was this the same card the dude that looks like a young John Jones on?
Yep.
Yes.
What's that dude's
Israel?
name? Yes.
Like
that guy's good.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him go against Sean O'Malley. Is that his name?
Sean O'Malley. Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
I went because I think they're the same weight class.
What is it? Is he 170 or 1?
I think he's 155. Like I would like to see those two dudes.
Have you guys watched the
rock out.
Bellator with Michael Chandler? Just put.
I did. Yeah,
Man.
dude, that was tight.
Well, I would assume
I
because
didn't
you're
say
such a big fan, Bullet. Did you watch the whole card?
Yes, I did actually. Why? See this guy attacking me again?
He's been aggressive all night.
I'm gonna fucking wrap you right in the fucking shin with this.
The man shouldn't have to bring his own beers. He's the producer. I'm on.
Oh no, he's got to bring his own beers. I'm not putting out $40 for him every week.
I don't drink that much.
But he's been aggressive since the moment he walked in tonight.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Man, what the fuck?
And then he can't figure out why you don't want to be his friend.
I know. I mean, it's fucking hurtful.
Yeah, and then he's fact checking stuff, and he doesn't
Yeah.
know what the fuck he's fact checking.
How about
Well, since you're such a big fan.
talking about last?
And then he's
last
calling you out on questions that you're answering about how you feel if you
Yeah.
would rather do something.
But you couldn't go without the internet for a year.
bullshit.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit.
You can't do it.
You can't do that. Now, you tie that arm behind your back right now.
First off, you know what? I'm gonna call bullshit because guess what? How does he fucking order his stuff? How does he buy food?
With his other arm.
No, with Amazon, which is the internet. So he'd be fucked. He'd be fucked.
You know what? I'm gonna go with Todd on this one.
Thank you. You can't go out of your house. So how the fuck would you do anything?
I would hire somebody to do it online for me, fuckface, with 2 hands.
How about Condit getting
He's done.
choked out?
Yeah,
He's done.
and
I love him.
Bellator, son of Bellator.
He
I
hadn't
love him,
fought
though.
in like
Man, he's great.
500 days or something like that.
Yeah, I don't
so
know,
it's been a
man.
while.
7-9 is.
He already said he was scared of like CT stuff too, so I don't like seeing him fight anymore. You know, he
Yeah.
said just retire. Why not? You know, he already complained about it, and it's
But
like
and actually, we were talking about on Saturday. We were watching the fights. Like there was a time where like
A natural born killer.
Matt Hughes, GSP, Liddell, Rich Franklin, all those guys were the guys, right? And then we saw a changing of the guard.
and he was part
That's
of it.
probably like 6-7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And
Seeing it
now we're seeing that second
For
changing
sure.
of the guard
For
again.
sure. Yep.
And these guys, you seen these new guys like they can't even hang with them.
It's just a different athlete, different training methods than they used to do, and I
Yeah.
mean, I know they're still
Much more
doing-
well-rounded
Yeah, I know
guys.
they're doing like the same training camps as those guys, but it's just different. You know, you grow up that way, and you're saying most well-rounded because you know what you got to do now. Like you're seeing the success.
Like
you know?
Condit was always like really good on his feet, not bad on the ground, but you never saw any other aspects of his game.
No,
between
but yeah,
those
you see
two.
these guys like they
He's jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai,
exactly,
right?
exactly.
And you're seeing guys that are well-rounded, putting everything together now.
That's what I'm saying.
and-
You're seeing
and-
people take like high-level double leg takedowns, and you're seeing people hit submissions everywhere, and then like technical boxing and
right.
kickboxing.
and
you
these
know?
and these guys that have been around for a while. They're just kind of stagnant.
and
their stuff
and,
is
and you
changing.
take in people that the people that are going into it are high level athletes as well, where they have
Yeah,
they could
sports
be
attract
a
them high
lot,
level.
do a lot of things. So now you got a guy who can
Yep.
run or play football,
Exactly.
who now is learning how to fight,
exactly.
where he already was gifted.
And they were watching,
when he started.
like, I'm sure that Israel guy, I don't know how old he is, but those young guys on the card, I'm sure, like, Kevin Lee was probably watching Condit fight and watching all these guys fight. So they've been chasing this guy forever. And now Condit, I mean, was he watching Kevin Lee fight? Like, no way. You know, it's just a little different.
Kevin Lee's 28.
Kevin Lee's 28.
So he's still pretty young. And
Yes.
well, this
Yeah, but it's also they're hungry.
yeah.
And it's hard to be hungry after that many years doing this. I mean, this is just another fight for Condit where this is probably this dude's biggest fight ever.
Yeah,
and he's
yeah,
approaching it as such.
That's exactly.
sure.
Like you don't see these guys getting hyped up for stuff like they would have when they were initially starting out their careers. And that's part of the reason like when you watch Bellator,
slower response time.
they're not well-known guys and they're more up-and-coming guys, so you'll see some real good
more
battles.
exciting fights.
Well, like Chandler, I would say 100% could compete.
Guys aren't
top
fighting
5,
safe.
top 3 in the
Easily.
UFC. Easily.
easily.
And-
Easily. If Eddie Alvarez was champ, and I love Eddie Alvarez, but if he was champ, Chandler could have been champ. You know, the wars that they
Oh,
went
for
to and
sure.
stuff.
What else up?
But you see guys in the UFC like they get a certain level of fame, right? And they're making a certain amount of money, and then it's all about not losing, right?
Well, it's anybody.
It
It's
becomes
any-
about.
anybody.
It's not about going out
They
there.
want to
But you
maintain
know
that
what?
lifestyle.
But you know what? I think UFC or MMA as a whole does that so much better than like boxing did, because boxing would always shield people. But at least the UFC, I mean, McGregor's different, Rousey was different for a while, but I think they throw people to the fire. I mean, look at like Woodley, they're throwing everyone at him. Look at DC, I mean, he had
But that's one of the knocks I have with Bellator, because I think other than the main fights,
it's pretty.
They're usually set that one guy's going to smoke
for sure. I agree.
The other guy. So it's not like they're trying to give you the best fight.
They're
giving you an entertaining fight.
But also,
where Nick Renovs is going to kick the shit out of Todd.
They're still trying to build people, though. I think like especially they're young guys. Like I know they had a big push with like the NCAA wrestling crowd. They had like Ed Ruth, Logan Storley, who just won.
Venom Page.
Venom Page, who's a young guy. Then you had like Tyro Fortune, like a couple of people that really is exploding, but they have to like ease them in because they literally wrestled like 3 years ago, so they can't do that yet.
But you see these guys.
But you see them, they're like minus like 1,000 favorite, and you're like, damn.
But my statement wasn't really about the UFC or Bellator. It's about like a guy who's been around a while versus a guy who's coming up and really wants it.
Well, he doesn't have the damage. He doesn't have the wear and tear.
Smarter training.
He has a desire. He has that hunger. Versus a guy that has had the wars, has had the damage to his bodies in the training camp, has been there, done this. Familiarity, it's not as exciting. He's already been a champion in multiple organizations, so it's hard to game up like that. It's why it makes a guy like Demetrius Johnson so impressive, because he's not only
every time.
Every time he fights like he's trying to win a belt every time.
No, it's true. And even like I think the way they train, because how many times do you think like Robbie Lawler has been knocked out in his life? Not even counting UFC fights, just like training. So it's like I think that compared to whoever's a young guy coming up, like you're not taking that beating anymore. Like you're sparring.
Or how many times
bit.
has he been concussed?
For sure, like
without knowing about
exactly.
it.
Or subconcussed.
Exactly. This is a horrible
damage.
for sure, 100%. And that's where it's like I think these new guys they're smarter. They understand like if you get knocked out.
But there's a trade-off to it where they're athletes that are fighting and they're not fighters, because there was a different energy, a different excitement when you had guys like Liddell and Vanderlei and Pedro Hizzo, and those guys that were they were good athletes and they were training smarter and they were putting things together, but they were fighters. Whereas then you started seeing these super athletes that were coming in, like a GSP. He could have done anything he wanted.
True.
How about a Fitch? Like his whole thing was just hold a dude down and grind on him for a while.
He was a wrestler, but what I mean is that like you're seeing guys like a John Jones was really the first example of a super athlete that could have done like to what Todd was saying. He could have done anything that he wanted to set his mind to in a professional sports. He has brothers that are NFL players at high levels, so he comes from that kind of a pedigree, and he chose to do this, and he put it together in a way that was almost prodigious. That was just like this fucking guy's like inventing shit.
Who else? Anybody else on the UFC roster that you would say falls into that category?
I think Tyron Woodley could have been a NFL player the way that he's built. He's built like a running back.
Is he that big though?
If he bulked, but you got to remember,
you're saying athletically wise.
Athletically, but what I mean is that the way Rashad Evans too, the way that both of them, the way that they could cover ground so fast. I remember when he fought Rampage. Remember when Rashad fought Rampage? The bell rang, boom! He got on him. I think with Tyron Woodley, he's keeping a size. He fights at 170, but what I'm saying is if he didn't have to fight at 170, he'd probably walk around at 225.
No, he looks like a bodybuilder, and he has good conditioning. They're pretty good.
But these are guys that you're saying that could go from not fighting in the UFC to being an athlete in some other professional.
Yeah,
they focus their
Chuck Liddell would have always been a fighter, whether you're paying him or not.
True.
Right.
True.
I was talking about Mike Tyson with somebody today.
But that's the mentality.
Right? That dude was a fucking killer. If he didn't have boxing, he didn't have anything else.
See the problem with Tyson,
he's in prison. There's a lot of guys.
What if he, instead of getting introduced to like Gus Mato or whatever and boxing, what if it was like Dick LeBeau or whatever?
Dick LeBeau?
I don't know. Isn't that a football coach?
The problem.
I don't think he would have been a good football player.
The problem with Tyson,
I think he would have been a thug.
Oh, I agree, but like, what if he found that passion?
The problem.
I don't think he was an athlete as much as He had something in
angry.
him.
No,
Yeah,
wrong. I disagree
Watching,
with that.
Seeing him
I
hit the
disagree
heavy
with
bag
that.
in his footwork. He
I
was so
disagree with
quick.
that. Later in his career, Mike Tyson became a character of what he was. He was a
Agreed.
headhunter. But in his prime, when he was with Cuss to when he won the world championship, he was a ferocious
So quick.
boxer / puncher. Watch his amateur fights. Watch his fights when
Just
he's
watch
coming
him
up.
drill, too.
Watch people can't even put their gloves on him. His defense was ridiculous. The problem with Mike Tyson is that the sharpest blades are the easiest to break. He never had training on how to conduct himself like a fucking human being. He grew up in the streets. Customato didn't teach him anything about
Actually,
boxing.
he did. It wasn't until Customato died.
Mike,
That's when he started to fall
Mike
apart.
but Mike Tyson
other
was
way.
a guy that was very studious, and he was a scholar of the game. He watched all the old fights. He could wax poetic about that stuff.
But I don't think he would have been a good, like,
He needed somebody that he respected.
a football game in the park. I don't think he would have been a good.
Not in a team setting, no.
But like I see Tyrone Woodley, if you threw him in, gave him a lacrosse stick, all of a sudden, you know what? He'd probably be great
still
at
an
that.
athlete.
Yeah.
He would. I think he would be good at. And John Jones is that. He'd be
Exactly.
good at anything if he put his mind to it. Tyson was. I don't think he was. He was a fighter. He could
I think
punch
well,
ungodly.
like, you ever watch Ultimate Fighter like in the first couple years?
For
Well,
sure.
they got
Yeah.
the new season. Did you guys see that?
I didn't see that, but I heard.
But
I
they
heard
would,
it's
they
pretty
would
good.
have.
I heard it was pretty good.
Like mid-season, they would have a competition, like with the one coach versus the other coach,
Yep,
playing
yep.
doing something they don't normally play,
like bowling
and
or
it's
some shit.
awkward
yeah.
to watch. Like some of these guys, you can tell they've never thrown a
Well, that's
ball
how
in
it is
their
for
life.
like wrestlers, because there's some wrestlers that are so fucking good at wrestling, and then you see them throw like a football, and you're like, what?
Yeah,
the
like
fuck?
my boys are really good at soccer, and my one son, Declan's pretty athletic. My other son, Aiden, not so athletic. Like he throws
just
a ball to
different.
him,
It's just a
yeah, he
different
doesn't
ability,
care.
you
Like,
know?
It's like watching a guitar player get behind the drum set. You're like,
ooh,
Holy
yeah, you're like,
shit.
what the fuck is happening?
it's horrible. Bass
Yeah.
players, they're usually okay because they can hold a beat because that's part of the gig. But
Are
fucking
you a bass player?
He always.
But a fucking guitars on a drum kit, horrendous. Almost always horrendous.
Who in the UFC would you say right now on the roster, if they didn't have fighting, would be in prison?
Well, I thought you were
O'Malley?
gonna ask. I thought you were gonna ask who's probably the most like the biggest genetic freak of an athlete would be Yoel Romero.
No, I'm asking who would be in prison.
Who would be in prison?
Yeah, if they didn't have fighting as an outlet.
I'm gonna argue with Romero. I think Romero.
What about
If
Francis?
it's wrestling or something like that, I think Romero.
You know how old he is?
Did you listen to
Motherfucker has a 9-pack and he's like 45.
I
Did you
agree,
hear
but-
the 9-pack doesn't
He beat
make
Chael
you.
Sanderson in wrestling every
agree.
time that he fucking wrestled him.
I just said wrestling, yes, but
He's-
I don't think he could. I don't see him as a guy who you give him any sport that Romero is going to be good
Hold
at.
on
You're
a sec. Did you
fucking
listen to
out of your
him on
mind.
Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
No,
He grew up in Cuba from the age of 9 in a school where the only thing you did was sports all day. And he was a boxer.
okay.
And to get your meals, you would have to be a better performing athlete. And the better performing athlete that you were, the better your living facilities were, the better your food was. And this dude was on top of everything from the time he got there until the time he got out of there.
I agree, competitor, but is he the best athlete? I agree, he's a freak athlete, but
Genetic freak.
genetic,
Genetic
especially
freak.
the way he looks too. You know,
But you compare him and John Jones. I think John Jones could do anything.
Yeah, hand-eye coordination,
Anything.
et cetera.
Anything.
Could probably play basketball. Could probably...
Right. I can't see Romero
No.
grabbing a basketball and going down the court.
No.
No.
Okay, I go with Jones, but Jones isn't. Is he in? Is he out?
All right, we've had a lot of weeks lately where there's been fights on like every week, right? Like probably what 4 or 5 weeks in a row now.
Yeah.
There's fights this weekend.
for sure.
Who's fighting?
And I'm actually looking at it now, and I'm like, man, this is actually a good card.
It is a good card. I'm
We
telling
should-
you,
we should
sneaky.
go.
I didn't appreciate it. Like I wish Todd would have reached out to me and said, hey, do you want to go to this thing?
I did.
Who's the
earlier
main
this
event?
week?
Barboza Lee.
Barboza Lee, but up on the screen right here, I got a couple of fights.
Yeah, let's
Like,
do it.
The
Let's
very
break
first
it.
fight is Anderson versus Cummings.
I like
Cummins
that fight.
can take a beating,
Agreed.
He can take a beating. He's like,
and he usually has in the UFC.
and he's got a few wins, right? And
He's got that
For sure.
mustache.
probably the
He's got
best
and the
mustache
missing
in the
tooth,
business.
too.
Current.
He looks good.
Current versus who?
And
having
Corey
a
Anderson.
mustache?
And Corey
Dan
Don
Anderson.
Severn.
Fry
Don
or Dan
Fry,
Severn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
right.
agree. He can't fuck
And
around
Corey's
with
looked great. his
I
last couple fights.
I like Anderson. I think Anderson can wrestle enough to keep Cummings away, and I think he's gonna land more punches.
Is this a 205 fight?
205.
Has Anderson always fought at 205? For some reason, I was thinking he was 185 for a long time.
He may have just said fuck the cut.
Maybe he's a big dude though.
Yeah.
Who do you got taking this one?
I'm gonna go with Cummins on this one
By mustache submission?
by mustache submission.
I'm gonna go Corey Anderson.
I
Nick?
think he's gonna have some beard oil in that mustache.
Anderson.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Anderson as well. I got Anderson.
I think he keeps him away, and I think he has better hands.
But Cummings is a good wrestler.
Cummings is a
Right?
great
And
wrestler.
Anderson,
And he's-
Anderson's background's wrestling too, right?
he was like Cummings a higher level of wrestling, but I think they can
on paper.
on
Offset
paper.
it with the hands.
Yeah, and he's good enough to not get taken down. You know, I don't know.
But he does take some hits too.
He does.
And
Got
Corey hits.
no fucking head movement unless his head's getting moved by a punch.
Does he got the tooth missing too?
He got a couple.
He does.
Kinda like
He
that.
looks like an old school guy that you would see. At first, I thought this was a woman's fight.
Yeah.
And then I looked over and I saw the dude. I'm like, why is this dude fighting this chick?
Yeah.
It's Bibulotov versus Sasaki.
Sasaki
And I don't know either one of these
looks
guys.
like someone that works at like a happy ending massage place. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
and it's a dude.
Yep.
I'm not picking anybody else on these
No.
prelims because I'm kind of uncomfortable with it. You can't go wrong with Jim Miller.
I hope.
He's
I hope
got a
Miller
lot of
wins.
miles.
He's one of those guys that
got a lot of miles.
He's at the end of his
I
career.
read somewhere that he had like Lyme disease recently, and he's just like battling back from it. So it's like I
Maybe
don't
that
know.
explains some losses.
I watched Cowboy in Atlantic City kick to the body that
Hell yeah,
knocked him down.
hell yeah, dude. Miller's in that.
You can never count Jim Miller out.
My heart tells me my heart wants Miller, but my brain's telling me Hooker.
But Miller doesn't take a huge amount of damage. He's
He's
pretty
just old.
smart.
He's just been around for
fairly
like
smart.
He's
Not
he's
like
a-
an AC hooker, huh?
He's a durable guy that.
No?
And,
All right.
and if you look at Jim Miller fights, he's got a lot of things where they're just knockdown, drag out fights. So he's taken some abuse. I still want to go with Jim Miller, like Nick said.
the
but
heart, you know.
my brain tells me to
in
go
Jersey,
Hooker.
Jim Miller, you know.
Yeah,
but
he's gonna have a lot of people in the crowd.
He'll have the emotional supports.
I
sure,
hope,
but
man. I hope.
I don't know.
I like Sterling in this one.
Aljamain Sterling
But
versus
Too
John's-
inconsistent.
John's hit that
Yeah.
calf slicer in that one fight. It was so
Yeah,
dirty.
yeah. Aljamain's he's just way too inconsistent, and I can't bet on his fights. I would have to go with Johns on that one.
What's Johns' first name?
Brett.
Brett Johns. I don't know anything about
It's
him.
always weird when someone's got two first
I
names.
agree. It's horrible.
It's like,
horrible.
what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know either one of these guys.
He's 15-0 though.
Yeah, but you could
I
have
know.
fought 15 crappy fights and whatever.
Dude, I don't know why this is on the main card.
Well, it's a fight night card, right?
I agree, but the Willis Sherman, like they're not ranked heavyweights or
I actually
anything.
thought that last week
Because
when
they're trying to
when
get some heavyweight contenders.
when it
out
was
there, that's why.
Bochniak versus the other dude on was that
It's a
the
bit-
last week's card?
Yeah, but think about their heavyweight division.
Tim Boach.
Yeah, no, Bochniak.
Boch-
Like 2
okay.
weeks before we fought the Russian dude on it was on the Nurmega.
Their heavyweight division's weak as shit.
Right, but this was a fight that we questioned why it was on the card.
Uh-huh.
And it was like a knockdown,
Oh, it was a great
drag
fight,
out,
yeah.
just slugfest, and him and I were jumping out of
It
our
was
seats.
fun. Yeah, it was a good fight.
So I think sometimes I in my mind I'm like, why is this fight
True.
in the card? And I think I have to just say, you know what? There's a reason for it.
But I think sometimes
I have to trust.
for a lot of the heavyweights, they're at least exciting because usually somebody goes down.
True. True.
Yeah, you're 230 pounds plus fucking firing punches with 4-ounce gloves.
The dude
Someone's
on the
gonna
right,
go out.
the guy on the right, Sherman definitely has a punch me face. He looks angry. He looks like Chet from Weird Science, like the older
It's
brother.
He does. Holy shit.
Ooh, eggs. Now make yourself some. And smash. But I don't know. Do you go with Willis or do you go with Sherman? I don't know anything about either one.
6-1.
And Sherman's what? 15,
11-4,
11 and 4?
and he's fought on.
How many UFC cards?
This will be a 6th.
How about 6? And I don't know anything about the dude.
I'll go Willis. I think he's out of Jackson Winkle, John, too.
Willis has been in 2.
This is a good fight.
I'm scared for Edgar, man.
Frankie
I'm
Edgar
scared.
versus Cub Swanson.
Coming back in a little too
Is it
quick.
Two.
And who won the first one?
Frankie.
Frankie
did.
fucked him
right?
up. Frankie fucked him up.
He made him
his
look bad.
Ass, yeah.
Fucked him up.
And then choked him out,
Did you
right?
say
But-
he ate his ass?
No.
Wow.
It
No.
sounded like that.
No, he beat him
He
up.
ate
He
his
beat him up.
ass.
Beat him up for 4 rounds and then choked him out.
Exactly. But I'm worried about Edgar, man. Swanson does hit hard. He can hit hard, so I'm worried.
And Swanson has a lot of motivation.
He has nothing to lose too.
Well, both of these guys are coming off of losses to Brian
They're
Ortega.
older too. Both of them are like, I think Frankie Lee's at 36 and Swanson 34.
Yeah,
So this is their last leg,
and
man.
both of these guys have lost to Brian Ortega, and I think Brian Ortega, after watching Khabib in his last performance, kills him.
I don't know. It'd be interesting. It all depends on position, you know, if he can grab that neck. But it's scary.
Whole thing is, dude, he gets a hold of you, dude. It's like a fucking house coming down on top of you.
Yeah.
If he can
You're
get the
talking
right
about Khabib
position.
or Ortega?
Khabib.
Ortega, once he grips something up, though,
No, I
that's
agree.
it, too.
Yeah,
I agree.
but what I'm saying is this motherfucker wrestles bears.
And Ferguson.
Bears, and I'm not talking about large, hairy gay men. I'm talking like fucking bears.
And Ferguson's out for a long time, as
Yeah.
far as I can tell, right? Like, and how did he get hurt?
he fucking
Tripped at a press conference or something.
he stopped and turned around suddenly.
And tore his knee apart.
Yes.
Literally, leg went off the bone. It was bad. You see that scar?
Yes.
I haven't seen the picture of it.
Oh, and the bruising from after the surgery
Wild.
is
Horrible.
They had his leg versus Poirier's leg on some website.
Hold on.
Oh, it's bad.
Do you think either one of these guys, Swanson or Edgar, have a chance against Ortega in a rematch?
Yeah, I think Frankie does. He was doing good until he got caught.
That's a good point. And he took it on short notice as well.
No, it doesn't.
Wasn't training for Ortega.
Yeah, it is what it is. It wasn't like he got blown out. He got caught. People can get caught.
Yeah, but it was bad though. It was a bad.
It was
knockout.
bad.
It was a bad knockout.
I don't think he should. I think he wants to end the year with a win. I understand.
I get it,
why
but
he
it's
wants to do
like-
it, but at the same time, dude,
I don't know.
you're taking
Cubs
a very
a
big
little
risk.
more fresh.
If he would have lost, I would have been like still soon. But it was like after Bisping with GSP, and then you saw him with Gaslam, and you're like, I hope this doesn't happen, and it exactly happened right away. And you're like, I don't want that to happen to Frankie.
I think
you know?
Swanson's more fresh.
For sure. So it's a little. I mean, to me, I think it's gonna be a good fight, but I'm worried for Edgar. I think Edgar can win if it's a 3-round fight.
I
He stays
can't
away.
cheer for a guy whose name is Cub.
Cub.
It's just like
Do we know his real name?
Stupid.
That can't be his real name.
I don't know. Who knows?
He's got SoCal tattooed across his stomach. His name could be Cub.
Edson Barboza versus Lee. That's a good
I'm
fight.
pumped for that, man.
I hope Barboza knocks him the fuck out.
Barboza
viciously.
trains with Frankie, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
How's Barboza feeling though? Because Khabib did.
Who was the
Mentally
guy
and
that
physically
Kevin Lee
fucking
fought
up.
Michael
Yeah, but he
Kessia
kept-
like
but
in
he
his
kept
last
tr-
fight, right?
He
But
fought.
but he
yeah,
kept
fought
trying to fight.
Kessa or whatever,
Yeah,
and then he
Kessa.
fought
Such a weird
Kessa,
name.
and then he
Kessa.
fought
I got that one down.
Tony Ferguson, and Ferguson got him in that triangle.
Yeah.
Barboza, though, man, he never stopped with Khabib. He kept trying to fight.
That's what's impressive. That
He
is
never
what,
at any
yep.
time was he like, oh, fuck it. Just
Let's go back to
Hold on,
Khabib for a
Cub
second.
Swanson's name is Kevin Luke Swanson.
Oh, not as cool. Do you?
all right, let's go to Cub then.
Let's go back to Khabib for a second. Do you guys feel like there was like a chink in his armor that was shown? Like,
I mean, he 10-8'd him twice, so it's like, how bad was that chink?
right,
you know?
but how many times did Iaquinta get up off the ground
Agreed. That
and
was.
go back? And then once he started threatening for the takedown, like there was.
I don't know.
I
was
think
kind of
it's
a
all
different
about. I think it's all matchup for Khabib because, like, yeah, if he fights Conor can land that left hand anytime, but Conor does get tired, and when you do grapple, you get more tired than you do standing.
But you put him against Ortega, who's an extremely high level grappler.
It's all about position because even like Tony, like when Tony Ferguson fought Kevin Lee, Lee got him in position at the end, like the first round was just had like already his head by his dick and was just pounding his head.
Is he doing Nicky long balls to him?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's all about position. But
He's doing
Ortega,
that fruit roll-up teabag.
seriously,
But he was also, I mean, he also fought a guy number 11 on a
True.
day's notice.
that's what I'm saying.
You
is-
gotta
Who-
say
who-
the same,
who we talked last
same
week.
thing about Iaquinta. He's
That's what I'm talking
fighting
about.
number one on a day's notice.
So, and Iaquinta was training for a 3-round fight
I agree.
versus the 5-round fight he went into.
I agree. I agree.
So
but,
he didn't. I mean, he should have smoked.
But do you think it also was in Khabib's head? Like he was supposed to fight. Who was the first person? Holloway. No, first one was Ferguson, then Holloway. Then he
Yeah.
was like, I don't fucking know. It could be Pettis. It could be Felder. It could be.
He just wanted to win.
And that's what I'm thinking.
He
I think
just
in
wanted
his
that
mind, he's
belt.
like, listen, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to take him down, try to submit him, try to beat him up. I mean, Khabib never got hurt once in that
But
fight.
there's a lot of guys calling him out saying you're not a real champion for
He's not.
winning that.
And I don't think he is. I agree with that. But it's like, who else is at this point? Ferguson's going to be out for like a year. Conor, who knows when he's coming back. So you need someone at least to be the head of it.
Let's go back to Edgar versus Swanson for a second. And who does the winner fight? They fight Ortega again? Or do they
think-
fight
Ortega
Khabib?
Holloway. Ortega Holloway, for sure.
Okay.
I think
Whoever wins, Ortega Holloway has to be the next fight,
And then they fight for the championship.
Then
Yeah.
if Edgar wins and Holloway wins, you can match them up because
you have the rematch.
you can't do. I don't think you can do Edgar or Ortega again this soon. It was too ugly.
yeah,
It was a bad knockout.
Yeah,
it wasn't like it
it was
was
a great knockout.
I mean,
I
yeah.
had called that too.
But like,
Yeah, but you
didn't fall,
got
it was
you
an
got a
ugly
good
one.
mix though, because if Ortega loses, either one a Cub or whoever wins this one, you've got a rematch.
Exactly.
Like you got some good
and
storylines
you
going
have-
on here right
and
now.
you have Aldo Stevens coming up too. So like, if Stevens would knock out Aldo bad, or Aldo would knock out
Talking about Jeremy Stevens.
Yeah.
yeah. Like, why is he not higher ranked?
I mean, if he beats Aldo, he'll be even higher. But like, that's a great matchup if like parity works out. Where like, I would love to see Ortega and Aldo. Why not? That'd be fun. Or like,
I'd watch that.
yeah. I mean, just like
Aldo's at the end of his run though.
for sure.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be like his last hurrah for
He's
sure.
part of that changing of the guard,
Without a
kind of
doubt.
thing that
And
we've
who
been talking
knows? I
about.
mean, times did change when USADA came in. You know, I'm not saying Aldo did stuff, but he doesn't do leg kicks no more. You know,
yeah.
cardio's not the same. It's
not
different.
the same at all. It's like just physically the
You
way he
know?
looks.
Like, remember his leg kicks? How mean they were.
Oh
Like, it
my
was
god,
wild.
he was brutal. Are you with this, Bullet?
Yeah, his
You
leg
were
kicks
there,
were brutal.
You were there with your classy Freddie Blassie cane.
Pencil neck.
Yo, who do you? All right, so Barboza or Lee?
Barboza.
I'm going Barboza by knockout.
Injured. I'm gonna go Lee.
Spinning back kick.
I'm gonna go Lee.
Spinning back kick.
Spinning back kick knockout.
I think Lee's hands are underrated. I think he's gonna be able to keep his distance from the kicks.
they're
and be able to
underrated
win.
for a reason.
and
I'm
if
willing
Lee
to put a
wins,
beer on it.
that's a good notch in his.
Yeah,
his
and
belt.
that'll be his. You know, he's right around there. You know, he could fight maybe him like Alvarez next or some shit.
Either one, it's a good.
It's gonna be
thing.
it's gonna be a fun fight. I'm pumped for it.
But speaking of like Freddie,
If Barboza wins, it's gonna be a nasty.
yeah, oh yeah, it's gonna
great.
be a brutal
Yeah.
win. It's not gonna go to the cards with him.
I get worried with Barboza because he has all these nice knockouts, and when he fights top level people, he just never.
Just not put it together.
Never
Who
does
is
it.
like Uriah?
Hall.
Yes, same kind of thing. Like
Exactly.
The mental thing. He's
yeah,
got all
it's
the
a mental
physical
thing,
tools.
and then something just kind of breaks him when you get to those high levels.
Cerrone's the same way. Cerrone
Yep,
can
true.
always get to the show.
True.
Yeah,
Just can't seem to.
Bisping was like that.
yeah.
That's true.
There's a lot of guys like that.
Yep.
But speaking of like big shows, like I was mentioning classy Freddie Blassie a second ago with Bull with his cane.
Pencil neck geek.
On Saturday, you were on. You posted. I guess you were reading the Andre the Giant book on Saturday. Did you buy that on Instagram or on Amazon?
Yeah.
But it was weird because when you posted it, I was in the middle of watching the Andre the Giant.
Bruno Sammartino died too.
Yeah, I was
a couple
in.
days ago.
Well,
Is
let's
that
talk about that.
That's the Iron Sheik, right?
No.
Let's stay on the Andre the Giant thing for one
Bruno
second.
Sammartino was the greatest
All right,
world
we'll
champion
come back to it.
in
Okay,
WWF history.
better than Bob Backlund.
He was the predecessor of Bob Backlund. Bob Backlund worshipped.
Better than Bob Backlund, though.
He would stretch
Better than
Bob,
Hulk Hogan.
please.
Brock
Better
Lesnar?
than Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar couldn't lace his boots.
Shit.
Better than the Ultimate Warrior.
The Rock.
Randy Savage.
Stop it.
Hul-
Just stop it.
Did he stand a chance against Andre the Giant?
Rocky Balboa is
He battled alongside Andre many, many times.
Why did he battle alongside him? Because you couldn't go against him.
Because why would they put a belt on Andre? He never would lose it.
All right, so let's talk about the documentary that I wanted to talk about.
Okay, well, I was waiting for you to say it.
how big was Andre height wise?
They were saying in the documentary
When
that
he
he
died,
was
he was
actually
about
like
7'4".
7. They said he was like 7'1" in the video.
No, when he died at the time
You
of
see
his
his
death,
hands?
he was 7'4".
Are you going to the bathroom again? This fucking guy. So
I saw his hands. That
oh
shit
my
was
god!
wild.
So Bullet posted like, "Hey, he's reading the book," and I had read like the Sports Illustrated articles when I was a kid, and I actually saw a different documentary on him a while ago. But it's amazing, like you like up until the age of 15, he was like normal sized,
Yep.
and then all of a sudden,
He had a tumor in his
Yeah, I have a good.
pituitary
Would you
gland.
rather? Would
Go ahead.
you rather be Andre the Giant's boy toy whenever he had sex with you, or have no legs?
I'd take my legs off and attack it.
I mean, my legs suck now as it is anyway. I'm saying.
Like imagine
Holy
that,
shit.
like that dude, 500 pounds just laying into you,
I was
and,
thinking like his hand. Like I saw him
and
like put up.
like
oh.
your belly down, and he collapses on top of you when he's done, and like you can't climb out from underneath him, like you're just fucking stuck. That would suck.
It'd be horrifying.
I can't.
Oh, I'm
imagine.
sorry, all right, so
it,
tell me
was,
about
it was a sad movie. It was very sad.
But what they
I already
they
knew it
talked
was.
about was the fact that when he was like 15, like all of a sudden his pituitary gland had a tumor on it, and
He didn't know what it was until he was in his. He was
Yeah,
wrestling.
his growth started, and they show videos of him when he was like 19, and he was wrestling as like something the axe
Jean Ferret.
Jean Ferret, which is like a French hero.
Okay.
and he's like 6'10" and skinny.
The problem is that his body grew too fast, and his organs didn't. So his heart had to work like super hard. And he was wrestling at the time. They brought him over to the French parts of Canada, and he was wrestling over there. And that's when he was told, you know, hey, you have acromegaly or whatever you pronounce it, giantism. And they told him, like, hey, we can arrest it, we can stop it, we can't cure it, but you know, with treatment, we can basically stop it because your body's going to continue to grow. Your organs aren't going to be able to power this, and they're going to work extra fucking hard. Circulation issues are often a problem.
He must have been always growing up, because if you look at pictures of him when he was 19, he was tall and lean,
and his face
was
looked
lean.
different.
And by the time he was like 40, his head was like twice the width.
Yeah, but what happened was he had a very sad life because it was like.
Nicky Longballs.
Yeah, you figure like imagine it would be like if you were in a world where it was like all kid size stuff. I mean,
just never comfortable.
You never get comfortable in a car. You can never comfortable
Couldn't
on a
drive.
plane. Yeah, and like everyone stares at you.
But that dude was logging hundreds of thousand miles a year.
True.
The most money I believe it was 71 or 72 when he was wrestling, somewhere there. But he made in 1 year $400,000.
That's it.
There's
in 71.
In the video they talk about him
It's in 71.
him spending $80,000 just in airline flights.
Yeah,
for 1 year.
Damn.
And that was a time when they had the
territories.
The territories like WWF at the time was like Pennsylvania, Connecticut, New York,
well, yeah,
and
back,
New Jersey,
back in the day,
and then all the ones. And they figured out like, hey, this guy's actually an attraction, and they would lease him out to all these other places.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, he would go through like a lot of the time. Like back in the day, the wrestling scene, especially in North America, was broken up into territories. And you had all these different promoters that worked together. And if you were a wrestler, like you would work in maybe like, you know, New York. That's what they called New York. But it was really the Northeast, right? And then what would happen is you're there for a couple of years. And then you go to another territory. It's before cable TV. So people in Minnesota didn't get on TV. You know, only in magazines would they see shit. But even then. So you could go around and keep your act fresh from... You know, but Andre was such an attraction that he would go all over.
They would loan him out.
He would go to Japan.
And they would fly him out, and he was basically he was one of those guys like he was so big. He was a circus freak essentially.
Yeah.
And in regular society, he wasn't one of those guys like just accepted for how he looks. But in wrestling, like that was where he was embraced. And in the documentary, normal. They talk about at one point they turn him into a heel. And mentally, it just kind of broke him because he was this guy that
everyone liked him.
Well, it was his only place where he was accepted, and everybody loved him. And he would go from town to town, and people were happy to see him. Now he's this guy they're throwing shit at, and he was still the same guy.
It sucks
personally, because it wasn't really who he was.
To separate
it wasn't really his persona. But it was interesting watching the documentary. Like you got like Vince McMahon, Hulk Hogan talks about how he at WrestleMania 3, he let him slam him after making him worry about what the heck was going to happen for a few days. But all these guys are crying when they're telling stories about him. Like he was like the nicest guy.
Damn.
The thing with Andre is that, you know, and I can certainly relate to this on some level, is that he was in a considerable amount of pain, a lot, and he just kept going because, like, you know, Chris said, that's where he felt comfortable and he felt accepted. And you know, he just wanted to be one of the guys. He just wanted to be like normal, and it sucked because, you know, he died alone in a hotel room, and you know his health was failing. It wasn't.
How old was he?
45.
He
46?
was young.
Oh shit! So
46.
Damn.
Yeah.
But it's interesting watching like.
But would you live 46 years of life knowing that you crammed that much living in 46 years?
Oh, he's lived way more than all of us in the room.
Or would you rather just live like a fucking long, safe life?
But they weren't they weren't always a glory 46 years.
That dude could party.
I'm sure up until he started wrestling, he, like you said, he was an outcast.
True.
So his whole growing up sucked.
No, he didn't turn that way until he was like 15.
Yeah.
So it was only by 19 he was wrestling. But the dude could party. Like they
Yes.
talked about
Well,
him.
he did that.
He would
He-
drink at least 24 beers a night.
He did
and
that.
4 to
Jesus
5 bottles of
Christ.
wine.
He would do that.
How many?
4 to 5.
Oh, I
not
said-
45.
What?
He would do
Still,
that. He did
yeah.
that for a couple reasons. One, because he was legitimately in pain,
And he was a giant.
and two, it was what the fuck? They told him like, yo, dude, you ain't gonna make it to 40.
Yeah.
Fuck it, I better enjoy myself.
There's one part in the documentary where they're relating a story about how they're all out partying and they go to get in an elevator at a hotel.
and he passed out.
He passes out in the hallway.
He took a shit on someone live
And
in a match one
the
time.
manager says, "What are you going to do with him?" And they're like, "Call AAA." Like you can't physically move him. So they just left him passed out in the hallway for the whole night.
They put, but the whole story is they don't tell it in there because it's a famous story. They went to they found these huge blinds in a window and they took them down and that's what they covered him with. And he woke up the next morning. He was like, "Oh, what happened?" And they're like, "You fucking passed out, Andre." Yeah,
And it was one of those like it just the documentary in general was
he was the
cool.
boss.
Nice.
I enjoy watching. I find as I'm getting older, I watch more documentaries about stuff, and like when we were kids, like my dad would listen to like talk radio. I'm more podcasts now. I'm more documentaries when I'm watching stuff, and it could
You're
be,
old.
And no, and it could be educational stuff.
Well, you take
versus,
it. I think when you're younger, you take for granted the education that you're getting, and sometimes it does fucking suck. You know what I mean? So I think now it's like you get to choose what you listen to. You get to choose what you're interested in, and it's good stuff. Like you actually learn shit.
Are you
Yeah.
a fan of Andre the Giant? Did you ever see any of his work?
I never did, but I am a fan of him,
Who would you say
100%.
your favorite wrestler is?
dude. So honestly, growing up, it was Kane.
The Big Red Machine.
Yeah, that was growing up. It was Kane. I
Glenn
used to watch.
Jacobs.
I watched. I was pretty hardcore in WW. It was F back then, but that was until like I came back from South Africa. It was big there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and
it's crazy how
I loved Kane and the Undertaker. They were my favorite.
All right.
But that was like the Stone Cold Steve Austin day.
The Attitude Era, if you
Yeah, it was
will.
fun. It was fun.
The
But
what era?
The Attitude Era.
even when I started wrestling, like wrestling, they were. I thought we were like
Sexy
gonna
boys?
hit each other with, like chairs and stuff, and
like
doing
your
stuff.
first day at wrestling.
And,
you
like,
had,
the
like,
coach was like literally.
Nick's
you
got
don't-
his, he's like, "Here's my theme song." And
That's
he's
why.
like-
Have you ever seen that South Park episode of
Yeah.
it? It's
Yeah.
so true when you do the first day of wrestling. The
Yeah, it
coach's like,
happened to me
listen,
too.
this isn't
Yeah.
WWF. You don't hit each other with
or
chairs.
Goldberg's
I could tell
when
you-
he
Yeah.
wrestles.
I
Exactly.
never really talk about it, but I could tell you the first time I ever took a flat back bump in a wrestling ring.
Yeah.
So I found the guy, mutual friends, and he was going to start training me to wrestle. You gonna have to pee again?
No, dog's barking. She's got to go outside.
So
Nobody's up there.
Huh?
Nobody's up there.
so
Any chance you can lay out?
you might as well make it 3.
All right.
So yeah. Anyway,
Doesn't
so
sound happy.
I won't tell my story. Fuck it. Just,
No,
you know.
my dog's has issues where she's just really.
Yo, I got a dog.
My dog's gonna be 16 and she's pissing all over the house right now.
Damn, my dog's 5 months.
Yeah.
Not pissing anymore, thank God.
What kind of a dog?
French bulldog.
I like Frenchies.
That's on my list of dogs.
I like Frenchies.
Dude, they're great. I'll tell you what. They're easy to train. They are lovey-dovey,
What's his
and
name?
they think they're big
Is his
dogs.
name Pierre?
Hank.
All right, I can go with Hank.
Pierre would be a good name though.
Pierre would be a good
perfect
name.
one.
Yeah, now like when we started watching The Sopranos again, and like Junior Soprano would be a perfect name for.
I've
this is
actually
Junior Soprano, my
French Bulldog is on my list of
Dude,
next dogs.
they're
That
great
or
dogs. They're so lovey-dovey. And
Australian cattle dog. And you know what the dog's name's gonna be? Chuck Norris.
Chuck. I like that.
Chuck Norris. Get out.
I like any.
But you got to say the whole name every time you
Like,
go.
it was between Larry for Larry David, Hank, or Taco was the other one. But we're like,
From what's Taco from?
I don't know.
I would.
It's
Sounds
the
good.
fiance name. You know?
I don't think I'll ever get another dog.
Why?
I just can't do it anymore.
That's sad.
Yeah, but if I did get one, I like little dogs, so I would get a little one and I would name him Fenris.
He's a good one. I'm telling you,
Fenris
French
is a good
bulldogs are
name.
great. I like
Yeah,
that.
Fenris is the wolf that kills Odin in Ragnarok, the end of the world
Hey,
in Norse mythology.
Oh.
But it would be kind of funny because he's little, but
Yeah.
at the same time, you know,
But my dog is
Fenris wolf.
old as fuck.
Yeah.
She can't see, can't hear.
The dog looks
she's
like-
been wearing
I've
diapers
seen-
for weeks.
Oh no,
The dog looks like that she got adopted from Abraham Lincoln.
She's
It's
she's
pretty
taken up
old.
residence in my dining room
Oh.
for the last month and not really coming out unless you have snacks. And she's at this point where she's leaking and just pissing and not even like doesn't even care.
And on that,
And I don't
note-
want to kill her, right? Like we called Laps of Love, like and I said, well, how am I gonna know when it's time? And,
He'll know.
and the lady's like, "Oh no, you need to do it." But like, I can't. I don't want to.
You'll know.
And it's that thing you said earlier where you see your own mortality.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about washing your parents.
Yeah.
Like you see your own mortality in the dog when you're like, okay, this is eventually going to be me at some point. And I hope somebody doesn't put me to sleep.
I mean, unless if you want to go to sleep, you know.
You know,
Like, I'm down. I don't know. I'm perfectly fine.
if they do, I want to be just out of it at the time when they do.
True.
Like,
I agree.
Like the problem with my dog is that she's fully aware of everything.
See, that's tough.
Her brain is sharp, but the body's just completely
tough.
failing on her. Right? Kind of like Andre.
Yeah, that was a sad documentary. There was a lot of sadness to Andre, and I could definitely relate.
Did you watch
to
it, or you just read the book?
No, I watched it.
Did you cry at any point?
I cried like a baby at the end.
Did you really?
Oh,
Were you crying when the
Uncontrollably.
guy who was his handler was crying?
Yeah, Timmy White. Yeah, I cried like a fucking baby because he was like. They asked him. They knew what they were doing too. They asked him. They were like, do you have any regrets? And he's like, well, there's no crying in wrestling. And he's like, and he just started breaking down. He's like, I should have been there with him at the end because he died all alone in a hotel room. And he's like, I can't do anything to change it now. And I'm like, oh my God. Vince almost broke down and cried too. You never see Vince McMahon that vulnerable because they kind of hint at it, but there was a lot of bad blood and bitterness between the two of them at the end of Andre's life.
And Bruno Sammartino died this weekend. How old was he?
82.
That's a long life.
Was he really?
Bruno Sammartino.
How old do you guys want to live to?
I mean, it depends. Like
if you're fully
77.
aware and functioning.
But the thing
77, you got the number?
The thing about Bruno was, even last year at the Hall of Fame, he still looked real good. He was still weightlifting. This is a guy, Bruno Sammartino's life before he was age 10 could have been a fucking movie. This is a true story. So he was born in Italy. He was the youngest of 7 kids. His dad went to America to earn money. Second World War breaks out. All the borders close. Fuck, I can't get my wife and kids. Nazis invade their fucking village.
Fucking Nazis.
They go and retreat up into the mountains. So I think it was like a year they were up there. During that year, 4 of his brothers die.
Damn. How many brothers did he have?
He had 7. They had 7 kids. But
so he lost 4, and it's him and 2 others left.
So 4 of them, right? His mom would periodically would make a 24-hour journey down the mountain to break into their village, steal supplies, 24 hours back up.
Was the dad dead?
He was in. I just said he was in fucking America.
I missed that for a
He was
second.
in America. He couldn't get in. The borders closed. So she got caught one time. Family got lined up in a firing squad at one point. Like they're like, this is it. Americans came in, kicked the shit out of the Nazis. So at the time, because of exposure, he had really bad scarlet fever, and the Red Cross said, "Yo, this dude's got like a week left. Like you're gonna bury another son." The mom's like, "Fuck that." And they did some weird shit where they put leeches on him.
They bled him out.
They bled him out to get rid of the scarlet fever. They had to wait 6 months before he was even well enough to travel to America to be with his family. So they obviously they immigrate to Pittsburgh. Here's this kid. He doesn't speak any English. He's so sickly, and because he was so sick for so long, he didn't really ever, he was a small kid. He was like a runt. So he got into weightlifting at the YMCA. Set all these world records at the time for weightlifting and whatnot. Never did a drug, never drank, didn't do pills, never fucked around on his wife. Arnold Schwarzenegger was inspired to come to America because of him. Bruno was so well respected. He was one of the judges for Mr. Olympia.
Really?
Yeah, that's how Arnold first met him. And Arnold was like.
Is he the greatest champion of all time?
Well, he had the belt for I think like 11 years or 8 years, like a fucking ridiculous number.
Better champion than Ric Flair.
Different. In the Northeast, he would.
You have to pick a champion: Ric Flair or Bruno Sammartino.
They're different. It's like
who
compare.
would you rather
it would be
have
like
as your champion?
Who would I rather have as my champion?
Yeah, like you got to pick one. This building's on fire. You got to take the best champion out the door with you.
Man, I would.
You can't give.
I don't know. It's hard to
Is it
say.
because he died? Is that why you're?
No,
thinking?
no, it's hard to say. Well, because they were different. Because Bruno worked a different style, but than Flair, and Flair was a traveling champion. Flair traveled the world because he was an NWA champion. WWF territory was like from fucking Virginia to Maine. He went and did other shots, but he worked a crazy schedule too. But they were just different. But you
have to pick one though.
Flair, I would go with Flair. But Bruno was one of the icons. He was one of the greats.
Bob Backlund or Bruno.
I think if
Sammartino.
Bruno is still alive, and you asked this question like last week.
Here's
Bruno wouldn't be in the conversation.
He
he
wouldn't be
would've.
in the. I don't
No,
think
he
he would be in
would've.
the
No,
conversation. I
this
think
is
Nick's
like-
right.
Bullshit.
It's
I've never heard him bring him up.
You
I've
don't
never
know.
heard you
No.
say anything.
Bruno
Everyone
Mars,
does this, you
Bruno
know?
Mars was named Bruno because his parents were huge Bruno Sammartino fans. That's true.
Okay.
Did you ever see him wrestle live?
But you've
No, I
never
wish.
you've
We did.
never said anything about Bruno up until
That's
he
because
died.
whenever I do, you go,
it's fake.
No,
But we used to see
We've been
Bruno.
letting
We
you
used to see
talk about
Bobby,
it.
Bobby Backlund. We used to see them all at the Civic Center back then. Is that
yeah,
what it was called?
the Civic Center.
yeah.
Wahoo McDaniel.
Bruno was a guy that carried himself with the same kind of class outside the ring.
Are
that
you
he
a
did inside the
bandwagon
ring.
guy when people die?
That's what even we've been watching The Sopranos and
No, Bruno was a classy guy.
James Gandolfi,
Yeah.
Gandolfini.
Gandolfini, like he got all these Emmys, but then like he didn't have any film accolades, and then he dies, and then it's like
Yeah, he got.
Well,
it
what
was
happens
like-
is, like when you die, you get angel wings. But no, like Bruno was always a great. He was,
But you-
especially the WWF.
You see that with athletes. You see it with rock stars. You see it
It's
with
true.
entertainers who.
But
You know,
see,
they were okay while they were
no,
alive.
no. Bruno was a guy who had the world championship for
Like,
that.
well,
I
long.
think music is one of those exceptions because you can listen to it again and be like, I never heard this before. I'm gonna give it a chance and hear it, and you're like, oh wow,
Like
they were good.
Like Heath Ledger, okay actor, right? Not one of the
No,
best
he was good.
actors.
He was good.
He was
He
good, but he
was
wasn't
the
one of the
Joker.
best.
The Joker was amazing.
the Joker was
Right,
amazing.
okay,
though.
so
that's one of the
Beyond that,
exceptions,
what
though,
other
I think.
movies was he phenomenal in?
10 Things I Hate About You.
Not phenomenal.
I know. I just wanted to say that.
But I mean, you look at it, and then
The Imaginarium
these
of
guys-
Dr. Parnassus.
That's a good one. But his best acting
Brokeback
was
Mountain.
in.
Brokeback.
He's gay as fuck.
I wish I could quit you.
He was gay as fuck.
Yeah,
I've never seen that movie.
good movie.
Never seen it.
Gay, but good.
But you see, to the point is that a lot of these people get idolized
I mean,
after
that would
they
be-
die.
I
that would
agree.
be such. Can you imagine that on the poster?
And
like
the-
Siskel and Ebert give it 2 thumbs up. Nick Grinups. He's gay as fuck. That would be a great
And they-
tagline.
But
Good,
their,
but gay.
their,
Wow.
their body of work becomes all of a sudden more important.
well, because
when they're
now,
dead
now,
than
now
when
it's
they were
finite.
alive.
It's like art. An artist won't fetch shit for their art. I mean, look at Basquiat. Basquiat was penniless when he died, and then his shit starts going for ridiculous amounts of money.
But that's what I'm saying. Like Heath Ledger was a good actor, right?
No, Bruno Sammartino was huge. Don't try to say that Bruno was a fucking jabron.
I am not saying it. I'm going
I'm
off.
not saying he's a brony.
But
You know what I
we're
mean?
saying he wasn't even ever in any of your conversations.
I'm saying
up until about a
I
week ago.
swear
he was. I talked
I am
about
a
Bruno
very
before.
low.
I don't think
on
so.
a scale of 1 to 10, I'm probably like a 3 fan of WWE. You know what I'm saying, or wrestling. But I had no idea who that dude was until he died.
You're a cunt. You're a real cunt.
But but a lot of the people I think if you named, I'd be like, I know who that guy
And the
is.
other thing is
there's
but you're
other-
also confusing this. You don't have to be the biggest fan of a guy to respect what an impact he had on the
Agreed.
business.
Agreed.
Yeah,
And
nobody-
I think
I'm not
timing.
saying
I think
fan.
timing's huge too. When Heath Ledger died, he just did the
And
Joker,
that movie, yeah,
and you were
true.
like, "Holy shit, was he good?"
Yeah.
Or holy shit, he could have been good, is what it was.
I thought he was amazing. in
Amazing.
that.
I
No,
agree.
he's great in it.
He took an iconic character and did
He
something
did his own
completely
thing. He did his
new.
own thing.
I remember when
It's
they announced
Jared Leto in Suicide Squad, which is
Horrible.
essentially the same character.
Horrible.
You think he's not as good?
He's horrible.
Oh, he's
Not
think
as
he's-
good. Not as good. I wouldn't say horrible. It's just if you
I'll
compare
say
him to
it. I'll
Heath
say
Ledger.
it.
I think he's in a tough spot because of Heath Ledger.
for sure, everyone who
but
does.
if you look at Jared Leto's body of work, it's probably
Good.
much better than Heath Ledger's.
Sure.
Dallas Buyer Club again,
Fight Club.
gay as fuck, but did a fantastic.
Sure. But what I'm saying
Club.
is that, first of all, you
Singer,
got a picture of
songwriter.
Heath Ledger framed on your fucking wall here.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the biggest picture in here too.
No, it's the same size as the Clint Eastwood one.
Heath
but they're little
Ledger
pictures of Clint.
Heath Ledger did something very similar to Michael Keaton because I remember you don't remember this shit because you're young as fuck.
That's a
But-
big one too.
But when they
Just turned
announced
sideways.
He's
Michael
bigger.
Keaton was going to be Batman, people were pissed. Like he's a comedian. Like that's Beetlejuice. He can't do Batman.
Beetlejuice.
And after everybody did it, they're like, "Oh my god, he's fucking Batman." The same thing with Heath Ledger. I remember even saying like, "Oh, he's going to be fucking horrible. Fuck that guy." And then when you see the movie, you're like, "Holy shit!
It's incredible.
It surpassed the hype." So Bruno Sammartino.
Who else has become a big influence in your life after they died?
Well, look at James Dean. James Dean was just like he wasn't hardly
23 when he died.
Yeah,
and he
but-
only had a couple of movies, right?
Yeah, he became iconic after he died.
He had 3 movies.
Yeah, he was a rebel without a cause.
Right, but to Nick's point, like some of these guys, you don't hear, nobody says shit about.
I think the
until they're
biggest one
dead.
that you guys touched on was just art in general. Like all of a sudden, an artist dies.
Because
and
now
all
the
of a
supply
sudden-
is
Prince was a
limited.
big
Right.
one. Prince was a big one too. I know he was fantastic, one of the best of all time. But to my generation, no one fucking knew who Prince was. You know, seriously. And also, everyone knew he turned himself into this symbol, and that's literally the only thing. Then he died, and everyone's like, he influenced everyone possible, which he probably did, but we didn't know that. So he was one of the few.
Did you just say you don't like Prince?
I didn't say
you
I
didn't
didn't
say
like
that.
him. I'm saying he's one person that died and blew up even bigger than.
Well, that's because it's phony. It's all phony.
That's what I'm
bullshit.
saying. Like, he's
Yeah.
one
Well,
of the
I think what
The
it did
people
is
that
it gave
knew-
you a chance to
listen to him,
to hear him.
And that's where I think music is a different one, because that's one where my parents are huge Billy Joel, Bruce Springsteen's, and Elton John fans, and whenever it comes on, I fucking love that shit. I do. It's great, but like they won't listen to any of this shit that just came out now. It's horrible music. I think music is like one where it's good. It's good.
It's good after
for decades.
It's
and
always
decades.
good.
Yeah,
If it's good, it's always good.
exactly.
But Bruno Sammartino, you've never said 2 words about him before.
I'm sure I have.
Maybe 2 words.
No, I have.
I believe in those 2 words were Bruno Sammartino.
Died
No.
last week.
But you have this thing where when somebody passes away, you tend to get really attached to him all of a sudden.
Cornell.
Chris Cornell.
I'll fucking suck a dick. I was a huge Cornell fan, still am.
Did you just say you will suck a dick?
You're the guy that fucking dressed all pretty for Nick.
No,
So I don't want
I
to
appreciate it.
This
Thank
is
you.
a fucking hoodie.
Yeah, okay. Hey guys, do I smell okay for Nick? Like
Yeah.
you should have seen it.
Yeah, you gotta think.
No, I was a huge Cornell fan. Always.
Who else died recently where Bullet had an issue where there was another one last year where you had a whole thing and you were fucked up for days?
Oh yeah, no, that was Cornell.
It was
Now there was
Cornell.
another one. There was definitely another one that died. And you just
And
you
it wasn't the guy from Lincoln Park.
You
I'll
know,
tell you that.
No, but there was every now and then like people that you don't say anything about, like something will happen to them and all of a sudden you're just broken up about it.
No, I don't. You can't say that about Cornell.
Are you a death bandwagon guy?
No. Nope.
Is that your thing?
No. Just like name the guy. Like I like you research.
I'll find it.
Find it out right now.
I don't have time to.
So
find
you're
it
going to
right now.
accuse me, but now like it's only a year ago.
There was something. There was
definitely
somebody.
something.
Come and hit me with it.
Yeah, once I figured it out.
Oh, so you're going to make the statement, but you don't have your fucking argument prepared.
Yeah.
Typical.
I'm like Todd.
Typical. Is the cable plugged in, Todd?
That's a toddy.
Yes.
Is
So,
the
Nick,
cable
you're going to the
plugged
fight
in?
this weekend?
I'm going to face this weekend.
Do you want to go?
I don't.
I might, but I'm going to fight to win tomorrow night down in Philly.
I think you're going to.
So what's that got to do with Saturday?
It's just I'm getting out of the house 2 days in a row, which is a lot of time. That's tough.
The wife's not going to miss you on Saturday.
That's true. She
She
doesn't
doesn't
miss
miss
me
you
on
at
a
all.
regular day.
I know.
But I may go. Are you going down with friends?
I demand to know who died that you said I was affected about.
I will think about it and come back to you.
All right.
Was there another
Yeah.
wrestler that died?
I mean, Jesus Christ.
Barbara Bush.
Who was the?
He was a big Barbara Bush fan.
Yeah. Who
She was the best first lady.
Eddie, the wrestler that died. He was a Mexican guy.
Guerrero.
Eddie
Eddie
Guerrero.
Guerrero. You were
like-
very
Eddie Guerrero
upset about
died-
that.
Eddie Guerrero died years
Right,
ago.
but every now and then you talk about him like he was the
I
greatest.
loved
singer.
Eddie. He was definitely top 5 greatest of all time.
Who's your other 4?
I've heard his top 5. Eddie's never. You've
Okay,
had
so wait a minute. So you heard my top 5. Who are they?
Ric Flair.
Bruno.
He takes first and second
Bruno
slot.
Sammartino, greatest champion.
Bruno
of all time.
Sammartino.
He was the
Martino.
greatest WWF champion
Okay,
of all
so he's
time.
number
Ric Flair.
No.
Hart.
Bret Hart's definitely in there.
Because
Sting?
he's dead. Because he's dead.
You don't put the
Bret Hart's
Stinger in the
alive.
top
Oh,
5?
he is?
No.
Who died? Michael.
His
Owen Hart.
Who's your
Owen.
top 5 UFC guys?
Top 5 UFC guys?
Ever.
In terms of impact?
No, in terms of who your favorite fucking 5 guys
Well,
are.
I would rate them in terms of impact.
No, you
I
just
would
rate them
say-
however you want to rate them.
Well, I will if you shut
and then
the
Nick's
fuck
going to
up.
rattle off his 5.
I would say Hoist Gracie
Okay?
because, you know.
He's in everybody's conversation.
I would say Frank Shamrock because he introduced the guy of the blending. I would say GSP. I would say John Jones. And then I would say, for me, Nogueira, just because
Really?
Which one?
Nogueira's the
Big-
one that got me. Big Nog, not Little Nog. Who gives a fuck
Who's
about
yours,
him?
Nick?
BJ Penn. Chuck Liddell. I'd say, I don't know, I'd say Matt Hughes. I like Matt Hughes a lot
Yeah,
growing
Matt Hughes
up.
would be in there if there was more space.
I would say one of the Diaz brothers at least. I'd say Nick Diaz
He's
maybe.
gotta
You
pick
know,
one.
you got to give one of those guys. And then, man, last one. Man, I don't know. That's tough.
GSP didn't
I
make
would
your
say
list?
Frankie Edgar has to be up there too, man. I love
GSP didn't
Frankie.
make your list at all?
I go.
No, man, because he was so dominant back in the day, and I loved him. I loved watching him, but it was like it was jab wrestling. When I really came on board, it was when he was the decision guy. You know, he was just every fight he knew he was the best, but it's going to go to decision. You know,
I'm raising it on what they did to the game, the skill.
and I understand it. Yeah.
GSP, Chuck Liddell,
Nice,
Conor McGregor.
nice.
Just based on how he dragged it, he's brought more eyes to it than anybody.
Yeah, not good.
But and I'm not allowed to have my own.
All right, go ahead.
Apparently, you shit
Right.
on my shit. So
I didn't shit on your shit.
You did.
No, I didn't.
It's a big old shit.
He rubbed your
collage.
face in your
Royce
shit.
Gracie, and then probably Anderson Silva.
Oh shit! Yeah, I should.
You had me same top 4. I'd go Hughes for my fifth.
Nice.
Who's he replaced?
I
Silva.
would replace John Jones with Anderson.
All right.
I think Hughes brought a different aspect to it than.
Bullet, if we go to the fights on Saturday night, do you want to go?
No.
Why? Because you can't take a hour and a half car ride with me and Todd
For
without
that-
driving you crazy.
Number one, that's part of it. Number two, like I don't want to be fucking sitting in there with all those plebes. The fuck.
Why didn't you?
What do you mean, plebes?
Like, you know, the unwashed
Like me?
masses, the mouth breathers. You know what I mean? You know, what the fuck? Be around with those fucking simpletons.
All right, so,
But dude, you could get us like a good spot because of the cane.
Yeah, we get good parking.
True.
People feel sorry for you. They
You
buy
gonna
you
buy
snacks.
You gonna buy my ticket?
They might bring you into the ring and give you gloves.
You're not gonna buy my
Sign
ticket?
Chris will buy it.
Everyone, clap
Chris,
it up. Clap it up.
Chris, you're gonna buy my ticket?
No, it's good seeing.
I love it. Nah.
But we'll.
Who would you put as your 5 best wrestlers? Your Mount Rushmore, if you will, of professional wrestlers.
Of professional
Oh,
wrestlers.
Bruno Sammartino, definitely.
Without a doubt.
I'm gonna go. Not in any particular order. Sting. Right.
I love that musician. Fantastic.
Dynamite Kid.
Oh, goddamn, yeah. Tom Billingson.
Right.
He was one of the best of all time.
Dynamite Kid's
The
one of my
matches he
fucking
had with
favorite.
fucking Tiger Mask in Japan revolutionized the business.
Shawn
Brother,
Michaels.
brother. All right. No,
Sexy boy.
Yeah.
Nice.
greatest
nice.
all time
Ultimate Warrior
in ring. Oh, Christ. That just shit the bed.
and Kamal the
Yo, what about
Uganda
Mick
Giant.
Foley? What do you think about him?
Love Foley, but, you know, I mean, I wouldn't. I would say top 5 for
I would
me.
call him Cactus Jack.
Flair,
He's Cactus Jack to me.
Bret Hart, Eddie Guerrero. I'd have to go with Dynamite just because he revolutionized. And then I would have to say, I know this is going to probably be...
That's a woman, isn't it?
China.
no. I would have to say the Ace of the Universe, Hiroshi
You know what's great, Chris?
Tanahashi.
Oh.
He didn't mention Bruno Sammartino in his
Bruno
top 5.
Sammartino was not in that mix.
He wasn't in your top 5.
Yeah, those
you
are my
said he
favorites.
was in your top 5 10 seconds ago.
Here's
Of
one.
Then all of a
WWF champions?
No,
Yeah.
no, stop.
Yeah.
Top 5 dead actors.
Oh shit.
Dead actors?
Top 5 dead actors.
Like recently dead or like all time?
However dead. Yeah.
Jack Nicholson.
Jimmy Stewart's in mine. Jack Nicholson's still alive. Jimmy Stewart's in my list. He's a good actor.
Jimmy Stewart,
Yeah.
Don't-
He's
you
in
can't-
It's a
Marlon
Wonderful Life.
Brando, Philip Seymour Hoffman. I thought was
Oh, God,
fantastic.
yeah. Philip
Yeah.
Seymour Hoffman.
Fantastic
Heath Ledger in the list? No, he's not.
for that one role.
He doesn't have a
um,
body of work to
No.
He doesn't.
Who was the guy who did The Wrestler?
He's alive.
Mickey
Mickey
Rourke.
Rourke?
He's alive.
He's alive still.
Well, kind of. He just shelled himself, but kind
Bullet's just naming guys that are alive.
You can't say fucking Chris Cornell. Chris Cornell, that
He wasn't an actor.
That fucked with me, though. I was such a huge fan of his.
He's
Oh,
not
my
an
God.
actor, though.
I know, I'm just saying. Like
Best
that fuck
favorite
with
actor of all time. Nick, quick. And then we'll end this.
of all time.
You can watch a movie of his anytime and not even worry about what the movie's about.
Boris Karloff.
bullshit.
Bullshit.
Suck a dick. I answered the question.
I don't know,
That's it.
man. Denzel Washington's up there. He's up.
Denzel's good.
Damn. It has to be someone else.
But there's certain actors that, like, no
Always.
matter what they're in, I will watch it.
Damn. That's what I'm saying.
You know what? Then if that's the case,
Boris
Adam Sandler.
Karloff.
Adam Sandler. I can watch any movie that
You know
guy's
who one of
in.
mine is? And it's probably not my favorite guy, but anything John C. Reilly's in.
Anything
watch
that
it.
Nicolas Cage is in,
Nicolas Cage.
I don't give a fuck. Even the newer
Dude,
ones.
dude.
Did you see Mom and Dad?
No, but
You have to go see
we're
Mom
watching
and Dad.
Con Air the other night, and this when he's
No.
like sitting there.
That's such a good
Yo,
movie too.
you have to see Mom and Dad. The parents go insane and they try to murder
I
their
love
kids.
my daddy.
It's awesome.
My daddy's coming.
Is this a
home.
recent movie?
Just came out the last year.
I'm gonna fucking watch it.
I
then.
bought it on iTunes for $9. You probably pirated it for free on the Giggle Box
You have the Giggle Box. Why would you pay for it on iTunes?
because I support art, my friends.
You didn't even pay for it. You just said that.
Oh, actually, I did.
I can show it to you right here on my list of fucking
we're gonna-
movies
we're
on my
gonna-
I don't
iTunes
need to
queue.
see it.
We're gonna look at it when it's over. We'll
Yeah,
watch it. We'll
but
look
we're
at
gonna
it.
end
know
the
what?
show.
I'm tired of you Perry brothers attacking me. Both of you passive aggressive fucks.
Nick, we may see you on Saturday. If
You.
we do,
Yes, please
You're
don't
one
let
of
me
them.
up.
I'm gonna.
Please.
Yeah, we're gonna have a meeting outside
Yes,
before we go into the
yes,
fights.
we will.
Do a little
Yes, we will.
partying.
Yes,
Have some fun.
You guys are gonna fucking dock.
I can maybe ask
No,
Chris.
that-
Chris, I can maybe ask a fighter who's going to fight that night if what he's doing there.
Yeah, Todd's done that before.
It's a
Todd actually ran into one of the fighters in Atlantic
Pat
City,
Pat Healy.
Pat
No,
Healy, and he said, "Hey, what are you doing here?"
He's like, dude, I'm fighting tonight. I'm like, ah, shit.
I'm sorry, but can I get my picture with you?
And he did. And then my son
That's
was
awesome.
My son was Instagram. I'm going I guess it was Instagram. Going like, yeah, sorry, my dad sucks.
that's awesome.
All right,
That's
so we're
awesome.
2 hours into this. Let's end the show. Let's Philadelphia Comedy Club on Friday and Saturday. Use the podcast code CAYPOD. Check out Dads and Cargo Shorts. Go on Netflix.com. Also check out CominAtYouPodcast.com. Also check out OutOfPocketNetwork.com. Go to Rest Tattoo. Check out Extreme Cage Combat. You can find Nick Grinups on what date in Hatboro?
So Hatboro is 529 at Crooked Eye Brewery. 525 is at County Creek Winery.
You know what we should do? We should
Telford, Pennsylvania.
get fans of the show to come out and
Yes,
see Nick.
and then but June 8th is the show that if you guys want to come out, it's in Philly. It's June 8th at Latage. Beautiful stage, nice venue. That's a Friday night. So I
Can
would
we
say
heckle you?
I'd rather you not, but if you have to.
Which one are you doing the longer show on?
Both. So I would say
How much time?
The Hatboro one I'm doing 10 to 12, and Latage I'm doing 10 to 12.
Should we all just
So
wear
either one of
Hawaiian
those.
shirts?
Yeah, we should wear Hawaiian
Yes.
shirts, and why don't we gather fans around to go
Whoever
see
you guys
Nick?
want. I'll say
Because
either.
we can't gather fans to see us.
We've only done one live show, and we had like 75 people there.
I don't know.
But if we can add an extra 75
Hey,
for Nick,
whatever.
why not?
Whatever you guys are want to do, I'd love for you guys to come out
Can we
though.
come up on
Hatboro or
stage?
Philly one. You can go up on stage. That's
I
fine.
can tell some stories.
with the plebes.
With
With
the plebes. The
All
plebes.
right, so
I'm gonna have to be
so we're
mad.
gonna
No.
we're gonna try to get some fans to come out to Nick,
whatever
and
works.
we'll hang out and watch Nick.
I've literally just
And it'll
tried
be
to
fun.
keep you guys talking for as long as possible just to be a funny guy.
All right, so on that note, we're gonna end the show because Bolt's trying to be funny, and Bruno Sammartino is not his favorite wrestler of all time.
I never said he was.
No chance.
I'll rewind it.
Actually, I didn't, you cunt.
I say good night and good day to all of you.